Danful offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshi traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danful, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danful, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danful, Africa. To learn more, visit danful.africa.
At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Oh, hold on. Man, this light is bright. Hold on. This light got bright today. Hold on. Let me turn this light down a little bit. There we go. Let me turn it down a little bit. Oh, okay. I turn it back up. Let me turn it back up. There we go. There we go. All right, peace, fam. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Let me make sure I'm on the right mic real quick. Audio, bam. We good to go. Hit the like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly, let me push this back some. There we go. I will greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements before we get started. Guys, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. All right, got a couple of announcements. I don't know, the light is just bright today. It's just super bright. Hold on, here we go. That better? No, that's bright. That's bright. Okay, I'm just gonna turn it down a little bit. Push it to the back a little bit. Come over there. Okay, got a couple of announcements. Announcement number 1, we are rolling to Cape Town, y'all. We are rolling to Cape Town. That is March 25th through April 2nd. If you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo, that's DANFO .Africa. Again, please visit Danfo, that's DANFO .Africa to learn more. We're also going to Senegal for the Jazz Festival, the St. Louis Jazz Festival. That is, that's going to be May 9th through the 18th. May 9th through the 18th, we're going to Senegal for the St. Louis Jazz Festival. Then we're rolling to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. That is going to be August 2nd through the 11th. Again, August 2nd through the 11th. Okay, y'all, this light is just too much, but we're gonna roll with it. That's August 2nd through the 11th. Then we are going to Zanzibar in September. That's going to be September 20th to the 29th. And then we're going to end the year off in Sierra Leone, Ghana, and Ivory Coast. So if you're interested in joining us on a tour, please visit Danfo.Africa. Again, please visit Danfo.Africa to learn more. We will love to host you all on one of our tours. We have a good time. We have some fun, y'all. We have some fun on our tours. So come and join us. Come and join us and have a good time. What else we got going on? In fact, here's the site, guys. When you go to the site and when you sign up, all right, when you go to donfo.africa and you sign up for the mailing list, you are going to get a personal phone call from me. Okay, I am going to call you, all right, and thank you personally. All right, no burner phone. No, a lot of y'all got my phone number. All right. A lot of y'all got my personal phone number. So y'all could never say Dynasty Mir is bougie. Okay. Because a lot of y'all got my phone number. So you're going to get a personal phone call from me, not from my burner phone. Okay. From my actual phone number. So please visit Donfo, that's DANFO Africa to learn more. Y'all, we had a great show yesterday. Hold on, y'all. Let me scoot this over some more. Oh no. Oops. Listen, we had an excellent show yesterday. I think we had a great show yesterday. Had my brother, the US Census is already discussing whether to drop the term African American, as they had a submission process a few years ago for this, since they were so much pushback on the term. I don't have a problem with the term. In fact, I was having a debate with my neighbor. If you guys don't think that we ain't black, we ain't African, we FBA, we ADOS, we indigenous to America, we ain't colored. If y'all think that's just an internet thing, nah, this is for real. It's not just limited to the internet. Why I say that, I was having a debate with my neighbor today, and I told him, Jesse Jackson had passed away, and I brought up the term African American, and how I'm African American, how I'm black, how I go by both. I go by African American, I go by Black American. And he was like, no, you're part of the problem. He said, I'm part of the problem. And he got into a rant about how we're not any color and how, we're just American. And and he's black. Well, he's black, but he's not black. He's just American. He said he's indigenous to America. And, by considering ourselves African American, how we're messing it up and causing confusion. And, he went on a rant. Then he hopped in the car and left. So yeah, so that's what's going on. That's what's going on. He's like, we ain't no color. You calling yourself African American or Black American, you're ruining it. Or, they don't call themselves black in Africa. They go by tribe. So why are you calling yourself this color and all that? And I was like, okay, I was like, all right. I just kept it pushing. But I have no issue being considered African American. I have no issue being called black. No issue at all. I have absolutely no problem with it or no issue at all. But there's a movement. There's a small movement that's trying to say, hey, we not any of that. We was Negro. What's the argument? We was Negro. We was colored. Here came Jesse Jackson. Here came Jesse Jackson causing confusion, talking about we African American. Let me pull this up real quick. The origin of African American. Here we go. Yale Alumni Magazine. The origin of African American. The term's earliest known appearance in print is in an 18th century sermon. Most of us became familiar with the ethnonym African American in the 1980s when Jesse Jackson began popularizing it as an alternative to black. And ethnonym is a name by which an ethnic or racial group is known, but the term is much older than that. Recently, I found an example dating back to the earliest days of days of the American Republic. The Oxford English Dictionary traces documented occurrences of African American back as far as 1835. The related term Afro American, which enjoyed a brief popularity in the 1960s, has an 1831 citation in the OED. But the last April, I did a routine search for the phrase in America's historical newspapers, the Riddix Company's very powerful database of early U.S. papers, and was surprised to be led to a 1782 sermon published in Philadelphia. The sermon, whose only known surviving copy is at Harvard's Houghton Library, was titled A Sermon on the Capture of Lord Cornwallis. The title page of the pamphlet includes the byline by an African American. The sermon gives few clues about the identity of the preacher, but I concluded that it was written by someone who was black, had some ties to South Carolina, and by his own admission did not have the benefit of a liberal education. Beyond that, I had no clue as to his background or what kind of a person he was. So I sought some expert advice. Richard Newman, a scholar of African American history and now director of the Library Company of Philadelphia, says he is not sure that the author was a person of color, despite the byline, the tone, and the style of the pamphlet diverged from some key aspects of black writing at the time. Newman says, where many African Americans emphasize the story of Exodus, which highlighted biblical prophecy that unrepentant masters would be punished by a righteous God, this pamphlet focuses on the tale of Samuel. The theme of this Old Testament story will surely have resonated with both slaves and free blacks. The mighty will fall. Nevertheless, the biblical exegesis that follows focuses more on keeping the faith in the Lord rather than smiting slaveholders. On the other hand, Edward Rugemer, associate professor of African American Studies and History at Yale, believes the writer was black and finds significance in the fact that the pamphlet was published in Philadelphia with the Revolution, when a significant number of Upper South slaveholders began to manhunt their slaves. Free people from Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware were attracted to Philadelphia, says Rugemer. In the sermon, the author addresses my own complexion. Ye who are my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, ye descendants of Africa. Rugemer notes that of those blacks who took an active part in the war, more served in the British Army than in the Patriot forces. The author asks rhetorically, of those black Tories, have ye not been disappointed? Have ye reaped what you labored for? I've been under the impression that most of this black loyalist group left with the British. Oh, okay. Black loyalists. So this is during the Independence War, 1776. War of Independence, American Revolution. Says Rugemer. This sermon suggests that many, in fact, stayed, and the writer is arguing that they move on and embrace the American experiment. On this point, Newman agrees. If it was written by an African American, he says, the pamphlet may indeed have been strategically aimed at integrating blacks into the new social and political order. This notion fits nicely with the author's byline. In African American, the idea that blacks might be a part of American society was in the air by the 1760s. All right, guys, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the convo, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the convo. But hey, so do you guys think it's going to be a shift from African American to officially ADOS FBA? What do you think? But I prefer being called either Black American or African American. I have no issue at all. All right, go ahead, Ben.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
Yeah. with the passing of Jesse Jackson, he's the person that gave the label African American to Black Americans. I think that era is over, and it's like perfect timing because Black Americans are now re-identifying themselves, and you can see it. You can see it's a different vibe with Black Americans. It's like a rediscovery, like an epiphany. They're going through like a revelation type of thing. And Jesse Jackson was definitely, his passing was the end of that whole African American identity. That's how I see it.
All right, go ahead, Prince Louis. Prince Louis.
Hello there, Dennis. Hello, everybody. I'm grieving this evening, and I'll tell you why. I'll be quick. Back in 1988, I had the privilege of going to Brixton for, I believe it was a fundraising and awareness for apartheid movement. And Brother Jesse Jackson came on stage and presented to us a formidable anchor in Black struggle in the form of Winnie Mandela. I was privileged to see Dr. Reverend Jesse Jackson. If you, he had a standing ovation. He and Mrs. Mandela, me and my friend counted, it's about 25 minutes to 30 minutes. It was just the feeling in the air or something else. His presence, his nice pinstripe suit he was wearing, handsome chap. Nobody represented the best of African American than this man. If people in America want to know why we love them, this man represents the reason why we love them. And many of us across the continent, people already, you go in the news and people already dedicating whole 30 minutes to this man. I mean, the condolences coming from all around, heavy in the political circle, so on and so forth. He represented the best. And what disappoints me is that we got a generation that seems to want to make an excuse that, Jesse Jackson gave us that name and therefore we should let it go. None of that nonsense. This guy was a colossal of Black power, Black African American power. Okay, and we should remember this, and we should not be talking about this man as just something that just came by, fly by night. No, that would be disrespect. I've been playing this song Jesse all evening, Dinas, and hopefully you might get a chance to drop a little bit. It was done by Melly Mel, and it was released on the Great Sugar Hill record label. And we are grieving a man who represented the best of Black. The best. You might not agree with all his policies, but at the time, okay, this man represented the best of Black. This is a man who went away during the Iranian crisis and brought back the Black people that were held up in the embassies when Reagan didn't want to hear nothing of him. But when he came back, as Melly Mel said, you bet he rang up Jesse there. Him and Muhammad Ali went. They represented the best. These are the type of people whom Carla talks about when he talks about the best of African America. This guy, had he been a white person, at that time would easily have won the presidency. So I don't want to hear any nonsense. If that man could get to that top and recognize he is of African, and anybody else want to step up and say that, his era, because of his era, that's the excuse we're going to use to get rid of it, man, you need to be slapped. Okay? He gave us the name, made it popular. It was already there. He made it popular and confirmed it. And we're going to stick to that. I want to pour my libation as an Ashanti man to that ancestor. Okay? That brother was incredible. And I'm going to end here, Dinas. I just want to read 3 lines from his song that was done for his campaign by Melly Mel. I'm just going to read 3 lines, couple lines. And he says, he started from the bottom, now he's on the top. He proved that, listen, he started from the bottom, now he's on the top. He proved that he can make it, so get up, get and blah, blah, blah. I'm too emotional tonight. I can't even do nothing. This man was a champion of black liberation. Let's celebrate him. Let's celebrate him. Okay, and maybe you can play his song later on.
Okay, yeah, we'll play it. We'll play it later. Pat Mulatto, Pat, go ahead. Pat
Yeah.
Mulatto, go ahead.
And thanks for passing me the mic. I'll try to keep it brief as possible. In my observation, I'm seeing a lot of descendants of U.S. chattel slaves opting out of the term African American as well as the term Black American and even Black, because these terms give Caribbeans and Africans too much wiggle room to pretend to be descendants of U.S. chattel slaves. They pretend that they are representatives of descendants of U.S. chattel slaves, even though they are not us. Sheila Jackson Lee, rest in peace to her too. No disrespect. She claimed to be us, even though she was not. You had Barack Obama. He claimed to be us, even though he is not. And I could keep listing on and on and on the amount of Africans and Caribbeans that claim to be us, even though they were not of our lineage. In my estimation, the most accurate, the most precise term to refer to descendants of U.S. chattel slaves as is U.S. freedmen. Why do I say that? Because either you have ancestors that were listed on the U.S. Freedmen Bureau, or you do not. And if you do not, then you are not us, and you cannot speak for us. And I'll say that in closing, with all due respect.
All right, go ahead, Kala. That's weird. Go ahead, Kala. Unmute yourself, Kala.
Oh yeah. I think it was. He said it was going to be brief, but it was actually too long.
I'm sorry, Tyler, man. I can't get. I'm sad tonight, bro.
Not you. I'm talking about the last guy. I was just talking.
Oh, okay.
Cam Mulatto. And also the term mulatto. People don't understand. Mulatto means that you're sterile. A mule means somebody's sterile, ain't capable of reproducing. So
I got 3 kids and
I said, well,
4 on the way.
Respectfully. Mulatto, somebody that can't.
Well, you're fixated with me instead of the topic.
No, let me forget you. Let me go this. Dynasty.
Yes.
The term
go ahead.
African American was coined in the Philadelphia Inquirer 1787, right? Right. The same year I think the Constitution was written. And the man said, I'm an African American, right? At the time, Black people call themselves Africans. We had the African Repository, the African Masonic Order, the African Methodist Episcopal Church. So we had a strong identification with Africa. We knew where we came from, All this nonsense about, we're not African is nonsense new. Let me tell you something, right? And you guys don't listen to anything I say. The term African American, it tells the story of the African story of America. America has an African story, America's African story began in 1619 with the transatlantic slave trade. And it produced things like gospel, rock and roll, the culture we enjoy today, the civil rights movement, the changing of America, all together comes from the African story. So the original African story began in the transatlantic slave trade. It didn't begin in the 1990s on a plane, people coming here on a plane. The story of the African American are the people that basically came here during the transatlantic slave trade and became. You can't just become an American like that. You got to have a history here. You have to have contributed to this country. The African American contributed greatly to this country as far as their labor, their culture, everything. So the term African American is very fitting to thing. Now, another point I'm trying to make is this. Sometimes people will say the African American is where you can say we're people. We're not Africans. We're people of Black African descent. We're not Africans. We're not necessarily Americans, right? We're people who are American, United States, American nationals, American citizens, right? An American is an Anglo-Saxon, a Protestant, an Anglo-Saxon Protestant from Western Europe, right? An African is somebody who's been born in Africa, who still retains his African culture and heritage, who lives in America. You can't be both. An African American, we put those two together, you're talking about a people and a history. Elon Musk can't be an African American because his ancestors didn't come through in the transatlantic slave trade. That's the African American story, the transatlantic slave trade. If your ancestors were not that, then you are not an African American. As simple as that. That's all I want to say.
Well said, bro.
All right, let me pat Visible Man. Go ahead.
I agree with your neighbor that was talking with you earlier in the day. When people ask me what I am, I say I'm an American, and I become a little bit upset by people even asking me that, because if you look at the transatlantic slave trade, then you will know that most Black Americans have been here before the country was established. So have
Oh Lord.
right. Look, don't oh Lord me. I've heard
You want to have a debate on this? You want
now,
to?
now look, man.
Kyle, let him finish. Let him
Want me to
finish.
fry you on this?
All right.
Kyle, let him finish. Let him finish.
My grandfather, born in 1880 something, was an AME minister. I know full well about
So
that.
how you gonna be AME and say you
Minister
didn't
in
come from Africa?
Africa.
All right, Kala. So my family goes way back and has fought in every single war that this country has had. We are American. Now, I do understand that then we say that we were African American. My life has spanned Negro, African American, Black, all of it. I was on my father's shoulders when King came to Detroit before he did the Washington, D.C. I Have a Dream. I did my DNA. I have 14 tribes from Africa within about 7 countries that now exist in Africa. So I understand the African American. But when people come over here and they want to ask, what are you, to any Black American, you are American because you've been here and you fought in every war. If you don't like the fact that people call themselves American, then that's your problem. And what we're seeing here on the panel already is the fact that we have all these ideas that differentiate ourselves between mulatto, between Kala, between me, between Ben, between everybody. So we're going through this conversation that we always get into, and it's been that way probably for 300, 400, 500 years. Let me say this finally. In 1526 is when the first African from a ship arrived into America. So I don't understand the 1619 bullshit.
Those were.
Hold on, Kala. 1526, and they rebelled then. So somebody doing a report that says 1619 was the first time we were there, they should have pulled her journalism card on that. All right. I am an American first. Black people are Americans. Then we can delineate and we can say that we are African Americans, where Black Americans were foundational American. But God damn it, I am an American because I have been here longer than most white people that have been in this country. And if Kala, you don't understand that, keep taking your ass back to where you want to go.
Let me say this.
You don't need to respond shit. Let the next person.
No,
once he gets off on this bullshit.
Hey, Kyle, let me pass it. Let me get through the panel first, and you can respond. Hey, go ahead, Michelle. Go ahead, Michelle.
Good evening, panel. Thank you, Dinus, for hosting this panel. I think this is very important to discuss. I think identity is very important and should be respected. Again, I respect Mr. Invisible, perspective, as well as College Janice and the other gentleman who shared their perspective. But as we talk about the term of African American, I think is a delicate issue, and I think more thought and support should be behind the discussion.
Michelle, your connection keeps going in and out.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I apologize. I'll just have to pass the mic. I don't want to mess up.
Well, go ahead and continue. We'll take it from there. If it does it again, we'll
I was just saying that I work in human services, and I'm coming across again, majority of my population, again, the Black American population, Many of them are now purposely saying Black American. They're not identifying as African American. And it goes back to, again, Jesse Jackson, I think historically has disappointed us as Black people. Again, he was implicated in possibly being involved in Martin Luther King's assassination.
Oh, okay.
There's also theories of him being involved in other governmental corruption. And at the latter part of his years, he had an alleged affair. Again, when the Barack Obama went for presidency, there was some back and forth between him and President Obama. So there's a lot of history that's complicated within Jesse Jackson, as he, even though he may not created the word, but he's the one who coined it back in the 70s. So I'll leave it there.
Go ahead, CD.
Hey, Dennis.
Dave.
All right. So, my whole thought on this thing, because everybody look at his personal interest, right? So, I live in New York City. So when I meet Italian, he will say I'm Italian American. When I meet Irish, he will say I'm an Irish American, right? Even French American, they will tell you that. And this is probably the richest city in the entire world. So people always try to identify themselves with a specific group in America, because you didn't come from this car and get dropped in America and call yourself an American. But again, when they differentiate it, especially when you apply for a job, especially a corporate job, on the application they say African American. And it has some impact on African, especially specifically me. I can tell from job interview, when I go for job interview, or even when I'm hired, the person that is interviewing you, he may try to ask you somehow whether you're from this country originally or you are really African, right? So differentiating us, showing that, well, we are African, which of course I want to be, right? Instead of me identifying myself as African American. But I would like for all of us to be the same. But to me, it's advantageous for we, the Africans, specifically economic benefit in a sense of job. I think we benefit from it a lot when they differentiate it, right? So recently I had a conversation with my boss, and I told him that I'm going to Nairobi. I'm trying to get a property over there. And then he said, "Oh, yeah. I knew you from Africa," right? But he was just a new boy. He's the new controller. So I found out that he became more comfortable with me when I make him to realize that, well, I'm African. I've just came in this country, even though I have American citizenship just for the opportunity, but originally I'm African, right? So I think African would benefit a lot, specifically when it is specified on the application that, yeah, he's African, yeah, he's Black American. Hopefully, we would want all of us to be the same. But if African Americans want it to be different, to say, well, we are Black American, they don't want to identify themselves with Africa, I think Africans would benefit more from that than grouping all of us together. Because I realize, especially corporate job, when they see your applicants as African American, they think they're taking more risks somehow, because they may think, well, you are one of the wood rat, or maybe you are one of those, negative person that they hire in the corporate environment, and they would think, well, you are not a good fit to be part of their corporate culture. So I think it's advantageous to Africans if they separate us somehow, right? But it's not something that we Africans fighting for all of us to be the same, to group all of us together. We benefit more when there's some sort of separation. Based on my experience since I've been in this country. But
Dinus, I
I'll
think
be here for now.
what Brother City just said, because that's the genesis of this discussion. I don't want to take it away from the panel. Thank you.
All right, guys, hit the like button again. If you have not hit the like button, please hit that like button. Let's see. Yeah, hit the like button again. Not hit that. Somebody's echoing. Yeah, please hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. Go ahead, Africa.
Yeah, greetings, Ernest, to the chats and the panel. To the topic, rest in peace, Reverend Jesse Jackson. He came to my city years ago when I was young, and basically visited different cities in the UK. I was glad. I don't speak ill of the dead, I put it that way. But anyway, just to make one thing clear, that I'm always have been a Malcolm X fan, and yeah, so to the brothers, regarding the conversation about the identity politics. We've been playing it for years, and I don't think they have gotten us anywhere. And we need to find a new way to do it. Hopefully, that would work. Yes, I think African Americans do need to have a different identity group to Africans for different reasons. Because, as I said in the past, Africans do not represent the same. I don't know. Africans will not understand African Americans' culture, situation, history, present, struggle, as the way they are. So by adding them into their group, it would be disadvantageous to them. However, we should work together as people, just like everyone else in the world. And in terms of employment opportunities, like what CD was saying earlier, we experience the same thing in the UK. Africans are more likely to be hired than the Caribbeans, who were classed as Black British, but no more. So I'll just pass the mic. Thank you.
Go ahead, Ola.
Thank you, Dennis. For me, I think the Black Americans have been in that country for a very long time, just like the white people. The problem is, everybody's naming themselves to be who they want to be. I think they have to come together as a tribe. They can say, "Oh, we're not tribal, we're not tribal," but the white people are very tribal too. The the Anglo-Saxons that came to the United States, they are tribal men. Like they just say where they're coming from. They will try to include the French and the Italians also as one, but they can differentiate themselves where they're coming from. For an African that came, in every African mind or his mindset is very tribal. I think the Black Americans have to be very tribal too, but the problem is they can't do that. This one say ADOS, this one say FBA, that one say Solon, whatever they want to call themselves. So it's all scattered everywhere. For you to deal with a dominant culture or a culture that is very tribal, you have to stand on one who you are really in terms of identity. Otherwise, when you start jumping from one identity to one identity, they'll start seeing you like a jackass, and they will never take you seriously. I think the Black Americans need to form their own tribe and stand by that tribe. That will give them more power, because the other bodies, okay, you say, okay, the Latinos are not so united, but publicly they look very, very united, and they can vote whoever to want to be the president or not. So if the Black Americans can form their own tribe and be, okay, I'm Black American, I think that also benefit the Africans that, okay, this is one powerful tribe. We can work with them when it suits our common interest. Then we can also separate ourselves to also identify who we are differently. You don't have to be egoistic, be together, not. But you see, United States understand who is Black American, who is African. They're not stupid. Neither be born there or you not be born there. First of all, your demeanor. An African child that grew up in an African home have a total demeanor compared to a Black American whose both parents are Black American. In terms of the culture, the way they grow, their mannerism is totally different. So we just have to let that know that Africans cannot claim Black Americans, no matter fourth generation, whatever. You can even see the name. Their names will pump out. So unity can be there, but separation can also be there also by identifying who you are, who am I, so that there will be peace. But it seems like there's some crazy ones. Maybe they just want to make money on YouTube. Who see way of bashing Africans, like if they be both hot, that they even relate to Africa at all. They even coming from that place. But they have to understand they can also be sons or daughters of Black America who own slave also in the United States. Because nobody talk about that. This reparation of a tea or pay me money. Sometimes some of you have to go and look for those Black Americans who owns Black Americans as slaves also. In Jamaica, there's also Black people also own slaves there also. It's a something you can't really escape for Africa where you're coming from insincerities without knowing really, okay, I'm from Africa, but I'm no longer there. I'm not here. That's just how I have to be, So separation is necessary. Identity is necessary. Black Americans and Africans are totally different in terms of everything. Thank you, Dynast.
All right, go ahead, Teddy, on politics.
Yeah, I think the designation African American is appropriate because there were no Black Americans before 1868. That became you didn't become a citizen, or ancestors didn't become a citizen until 1868 with the implementation of the 14th Amendment. So who were those people before 1868? Who were the ancestors before? They were Africans. So after 1868, then you could become American. So before that, we're African, now you're American. So African American. So that to be an American, you have to have citizenship. Black folks at that time were not granted citizenship until 1868. So there were no Black Americans before 1868. There were Africans before 1868. So my point, after 1868, Black folks became American. So African American is appropriate. That's what I was
Let me read the super chat. Landmark 22, thank you for $2 holla. The Free African Society founded in 1787 in Philly. Landmark 22, thank you for the $2 holla. Black immigrants lobbied on the census to separate. The Good King, go ahead.
Peace. I don't necessarily have a problem with African American or Black American. I'd rather just drop the American part and just see myself as Black or African, but technically on the books, that's what we are. If you go on the census or you filling out a job application, it's going to say, are you Black/African American? Truthfully, if we did want a designation, our own separate name, what we would need to do is sit down, organize for a nation the same way Burkina Faso became Burkinabe when they got their independence. Before that, they was Upper Volta. So that's really the problem, because we already our own tribe. Everybody know we the descendants of the transatlantic slave trade. The problem is we don't control a landmass or any territory. We don't have a military or a currency. We don't have a nation of our own. The Haitians are descendants of the transatlantic slave trade also, but they have a nation. So do the Jamaicans. So that's the difference between us and other groups. And I'll pass the mic.
All right, T, go ahead, T. Khalid. Yeah, I guess Kala left. I was going to let Kala...
Yeah, man, I think I do like the term Black American, only because I don't like the term African American, because I don't think we align politically with Africans, especially. I mean, yeah, you get some Africans who come over here and they're conservative, but then they all become liberals and want open borders because they're just trying to flood the country with their people. And I don't look. Black Americans who've been born and raised in this country, got family in this country, we don't appreciate not just Africans, but maybe people from, the Middle East or South America coming over here, not assimilating, and then taking resources out of this country and putting it into their country, and just kind of just draining America to where if America just fell, they have somewhere to go back to. But, Black Americans who have their family and roots here, we don't have anything to go back to. So it's an ungratefulness. So I do think there needs to be a separation. And yes, I'm not a reparations thumper, but I do understand the point that if Black Americans are trying to get reparations, and let's say we all go under the term African Americans, and you get some immigrant that comes over here and now he considers himself as African American, and he's saying things like, well, African Americans don't need reparations. It's kind of disrespectful to the black population. So our interests don't align in these areas. And yes, a separation needs to be formed. Because, like I said, we do get some good Africans that come over here. They assimilate well. But, if they're coming over here teaching their children to hate this country and, hate what it's about and steal and, don't like the native black population, yeah, I think there should be a separation.
All right, guys, hit the like button again. Please hit that like button. The link's in the chat room. If you guys want to call in after the conversation, you can. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Louis.
Yeah, if it's just a matter of what's on the consensus, you can just change the consensus. Your political representative could easily have an African American, African, and so on. I don't like the idea of Africans born in America calling themselves African American. I don't really like that. Okay, to me, you're African. Just put Africa. If you got to show that you're an American, show your passport. Finish, and be sensitive to the brothers and sisters who are African Americans, so that they can have their own thing, so that it's not hijacked. We have to be sensitive to that. I got cousins, nieces, and nephews born in America, and I tell them straight out, you're not African American. You're African. You live in America, because we have African Americans. But that's not really the problem. The problem is the word Africa. They just call it what it is. Sellouts don't want to be associated with Africa in any shape or form. So the problem isn't whether he likes America or he don't like America. It's got nothing to do with that. You want to be the only black in the bloody jungle to appease the white man. Okay? And those who I'm talking about, right? It is the word Africa that they detest. Those are the people who today, instead of pouring libation for our great ancestors who passed away, are now mad at him. It's silliness. Embarrassing.
May I please respond?
Go ahead.
I appreciate your perspective, but also, again, it appears you live, across the pond. So out of respect to our family here on this side, how we feel, how our people feel is how they feel. And again, I do respect Jesse Jackson, but I also understand he had a compromised background. Do I say we respect him? Should he get his RIP? Definitely. But again, I understand the complexity of our circumstances. So, Mr. Prince, be a little respectful to our family here on this side of the pond and our experiences.
Yeah, I'm always respectful. I mean, I'm sure Dinah will correct me. I'm sure you yourself correct me if I am not. But I am also part of the greater black world. We are all part of the greater black world. So when it comes to that, I have
Well, Tariq Nasheed was saying y'all are warring with each other in Africa, so you're not even united in Africa.
I'm answering the sister's question, okay, right? So in a greater black world, all right, we also have opinions, and we are here. We're sharing it on this platform. It is quite obvious that the problem that we have had as white people, as black people, has been sellouts. If you come from our family, you're ashamed to have my name. What choice do I have to do but cut you off?
It's not about that. We've had to choose our name.
I think it is. I think it is. It's the word Africa that you have been taught.
No one is complaining about that. I just laid out points, and you haven't responded to any point. What do you think about the native black Americans getting enslaved? I mean, getting reparations. What's your view on that?
Brother, the broadcast.
And should your people from your country come over here and say, as an African American, when you immigrated recently, y'all don't deserve reparations? Should your people do that?
Take my time, brother. Okay, it's very simple. Diana Zamir is broadcasting this show to the world, not just America. And he's inviting the rest of us black people. And
should your people come to this country and speak as an African American for all the native blacks and say they don't deserve reparations? Should your people do that? Is that respectful to the native black Americans? Because I'm telling you, we can't come to your country and speak on behalf of your people because y'all would probably whip us on the streets. But you get to come over here and speak on behalf of us. So you don't see a problem with that?
You have no idea of the great work that was done by the likes of Jesse Jackson, Malcolm X, and many others who constantly toured the continent. Okay? You just the
There's
sellout.
nothing wrong with Africa. Nobody hates Africa. No one is saying Africa is bad. I would tour the continent too. There's nothing wrong with Africa. It's a beautiful country.
You can have African American, but you just don't want African.
Problem is if you coming over here saying I'm an African American and this is what African Americans need to do, speaking on behalf of us when your ass just got here a year ago.
I haven't come to your country.
Brother T, I think he's in the UK, I believe. So yeah, that's what I'm issuing. He's seeing somewhere across the world.
Yeah, Prince, let me can I come in? So what Prince is saying, he's in Europe, right? But me, I'm being African. I would like this separation because I have an economic benefit. I do not want the separation, but each time when I'm filling out applications to call me African American, I do not like it. I want to identify myself specifically as African because I think I benefit a lot identifying myself with Africa.
Easily then fight back. That's why they like you. This is the issue. This is the fundamental issue. Like for example, certain things that
why they like me? What you said? Why they like me?
Black Americans are not going to take. See, that's why they like you, City, because you're going
to no. Because I fit in the culture. Number one.
No, because
I work very hard.
They're going to let you.
Right.
They're going to talk.
First of all, this is not a federal job. This is not a state job. I'm talking about corporate America. Productivity is very important. So you're talking about. I don't go to federal job where there's a lot of African American. I don't apply for a New York State job where there's African American and Spanish. I do not want it. But I fit in the corporate environment in the sense that they can tell me anytime to walk out of the door. But my productivity and my performance will keep me in that job position. So filling out the application as an African American, they will always have they will always prejudge me somehow because they are not sure. They group all African, all black people to be the same. They could think probably I'm a Pookie Ray Ray or maybe some hood rat, which mentally it affect my productivity. But when I'm walking through the door, I'm here just for a few years, I'm African, I feel more comfortable.
See, you the reason why FBA exists, bro. You talking?
I don't get FBA. That's what I want FBA to do because FBA it give her identity, which is good for African to me, right? I don't want this. I don't support this.
Where are you from originally? Are you you're naturalized American, right?
I don't even want to count that because anytime I have the American passport, but I don't even consider myself American because the reason is being American. Let me tell you that being American, only black people will say I'm an American, but being American to me is not even nationality. Anybody can claim to be an American, right? Your president right now is selling American citizenship for how much? $1 million? So anybody can have economic power and become an American.
Yeah, to get the best immigrant.
So why would I want to
coming over here and jumping right on the welfare system like these Somalis, which us native blacks have to fund that shit too.
I'm
got to
talking about
take care of
myself.
East Africans immigrating here from a poor country. That's ridiculous.
So how many? I want to ask you this.
What's the thanks that we get? Y'all don't
I want to ask you this. What is the population of Africa?
Anything. Y'all just keep frauding.
What is the population of African in America? What is the population?
We got to get y'all up out of here.
Over 40 million.
And separate. We got to separate.
What is the population? What is the population of Africa? There's 4 million, including 40. Caribbean. They have 16. They have 16 million. You have 16 million Indian in America. They have 15 million Chinese in America. They have Mexicans, 16 million Mexican in America. We don't even have million Nigerian in America. So but for the reason that we being black,
no one is targeting
it
This ain't no
affects you
damn
guys
We're targeting
somehow.
all
Indian
You're
Indians or
always
whatever.
think that all African travel. You
that
will go
step
to some
over native
African
black
country.
folks, that step over FBA and get their shit popping.
Let me tell you.
Listen,
We're
the
targeting
definite
them
we
too.
are African Americans, and
But that's
that's
what
the
I'm
See
bottom
these
saying.
line.
rights.
Oh God, no,
Because
God, well, hold on. Let me pass it up. Sandman, he haven't spoke yet. Let me pass it to Sandman.
Yeah. The bottom line is we are African Americans. You can sit here and be delusional and be in the denial. You're not a white person. You're not a European. You're not a Native Indian. You're not a Chinaman. You are African. You call yourself black or whatever you want to call yourself. You're African. So, you can be white or act like you white here in the United States, and as long as you act your role and delineate, assimilate like the white person wants you to, then they'll let you stick around. You know what I mean? But as soon as you act out of pocket, where they gonna throw you? Where they gonna throw your black ass in jail with the rest of the black people that act out? Okay, you are a African in America. Okay, so it would behoove you to realize what you are. And then once you realize what you are, then you can find where where your destination is going to be. But for as long as you keep, living in your fantasy land, like you're something different or you're some subsidiary of what white people have identified you with. I see these black people in Washington crying about, civil rights all the time. You've been crying about civil rights for the past 4 or 5 years, and they still don't give a damn. You know what I mean? They give you a little, they throw a little bone in your pot and say, okay, shut up, black man, go about your way. Okay, we gave you a little something, but get the hell out of our way while we do what we want to do. All right. So the benefit of being in the United States is it is the most powerful country in the world. You can learn a lot of things here. There's a lot of innovation. You can take the money that you obtain and the innovation that you've learned and bring it back to your people so you can grow
Yeah, and
together.
this is why we got to get you Africans up out of here because you're just ungrateful. You come and you steal, and you better be lucky. Like you over here trying to trash FBAs, but here you are
We're
moving
not
to
trying to
the white
be.
man's country under their grace. You better be glad these liberal whites are even tolerating you because I'm telling you, this is why we're kind of siding with the conservative whites because
But
these
you're
liberal
not an
whites
elected
are the
leader. You're
only
not an
reason
elected
why you
leader
can talk
and break
reckless right
great
now
Jesse
is because these
great
liberal white
Jesse
women are protecting
Jackson,
you for votes.
like the
That
great
is the
Jesse
only
Jackson.
reason why you can come
Okay,
over here
you're
and
not
talk
elected.
reckless like this. So
Okay,
you
brother
better
T,
be thankful and see, but I'm telling you that stuff is
tolerating you?
changing
Brother
because
Jesse
I'm
Yeah, you
telling
be a
Jackson.
you, the
good boy.
American
You
people
be a
as a
good
whole
boy
is
and
getting
listen
tired of this.
and do what Master tell you to do. Okay, you do be a good boy.
Bro, why would you flee your own people to be around white people? Why would you do that?
May I ask Brother T a quick question, please, if he has a moment?
Because you hate living around your own damn people.
Yeah,
May I
brother
ask Brother T a question, please?
Go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah.
Brother T, quick one. I've talked with you on panels, and my main question, I think, with our foundational Black American identifying our lineage, my biggest question, sidebar from the Black immigrants, is how are we as Black Americans going to sustain our identity for generations and generations to come? Because I live in DC. I'm right now. It breaks my heart. I'm working with a family. Soon as this family member dies, this house will be sold within less than 3 months. And it will not be the same demographic in that household. That's my biggest issue. Dating, family. We Black people in America, how are we going to sustain ourselves in America? Not necessarily you per se, because I know you have everything going forward. But this is the bigger issue because what's happening, they're going to use a brother like City to take that little, like the trash that come out, many Black American. Now I'm noticing they're using a lot of immigrants to use that job. That job used to help sustain families. Now they'll get somebody like City who wake up early morning, work 12 hours a day, won't talk back, will say he's proud, he's African, would disregard the history that's here. This is the issue we're really dealing with.
No, I'm gonna totally agree with you. I think honestly, this is the first time like-minded FBAs can actually talk to each other because we never had a social
But that's
platform
what I
to.
said.
So it is going to
I'm
take
not.
time. But I think the
bro,
first thing we do need to do is
bro,
delineate, and I do think we do need to be anti-immigration because it does not benefit us in the long run. We do need to be
bro.
selfishly
But you see,
FBA,
but let me
meaning
tell you, do
the
you know who
jobs,
chasing you
the
guys out of your
construction
neighborhood?
industries,
The
all go
people
to us. We are the minorities that get the jobs,
who
not the
getting
immigrants.
who getting the
We have
African
to be
American at their
selfishly
neighborhood?
FBA,
Is it the
selfishly.
Spanish, the Chinese, and the Indians are the one getting rid of you guys from your neighborhood. No African thing
Yeah,
over African American
exactly,
neighbor.
because of the
But
liberal voting patterns. I
no,
totally
no,
agree.
no. Let me tell you,
And that's why we don't like immigrants because
if
y'all
you are
side with the
serious about
liberals
that, if
because
you
they
are
help
serious about
you,
that, you will
but
fight
it
for
hurts
50
the
million
native
Chinese that are in
population.
America, not the African, right? We need less than 4 million.
We're not with the
Go for
Chinese
the
also, bro.
Chinese
No,
that took over the hood
what
of
FBA
California.
talks highly about Chinese?
That's what I'm telling you. Go for the real
Let me just
target, not the African.
hold on. The Black Americans have been in United States for years, right? They'll be there just like the white men. The problem is the white man owns the economy, the white man have the job, and the white man is the one employed. You see, this is just about fighting for survival. I understand the Black American want to survive, but you see, you people be there for all these years.
See, why do you say
If you put, hold on. If you put have power, if people have power and control the job market, you people create the jobs and everything, then you people can say, okay, you people want to separate. Then you people can decide to say who do you people want to employ or not. But if you even separate, right, the African will not even notice you people are gone or whatever it is, because the Africans are not coming to meet you for a job. You know, they go to the white side to get a job.
I'm not worried about the jobs. I'm worried about their
What are you
liberal
worried about the
voting
job,
habits
bro?
that's
You worried
destroying the
about the job.
social fabric of this country
You
and
worried about the
pushing
job.
on LGBT and
If you look,
feminism just so they can get
this
their
what you're
family
talking about
members
right
over
now.
here
Even when
and
you talk about
telling
right now,
FBAs that they can't have reparations as a spokesperson of African
you could get
Americans. That's a
Africa
major
so
problem.
small. Africa, United States so small to say you can't get nothing. The Middle East, United States. There are Filipinos in the United States. There are a lot there even than the Africans. Why is it that the African that you people
Why
want
do
to
y'all think
go
people are
after?
focused strictly on
Hold on,
Africans,
because
man?
the
I
Africans are
don't
the weak.
understand that.
Because Africa the weak one. It's not just your fault.
That's the question. That's the question.
You
We don't
people,
even have million Nigerian in America. Even a million. What's the population of Nigeria? Over 200 million?
bro, what
So
you people are
because you
doing
think Africans are the easy target,
what you
that's what
people
you
are
go
doing,
after, right?
what you people are doing now, what you people are doing in the United States is not strange to Africans.
May I ask something?
That's why I said I'm not taking nobody out of this equation.
Hey guys, I got to pass the mic to Bandit. Go ahead, Bandit.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Hello, brother.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a little bit lost. So like, what's the debate about? I know I saw it and I clicked on it. Hello,
bro. Why even come up on the panel, bro?
No. What about the term?
This is so crazy, bro.
I was here to the room, but I didn't really.
Jesse Jackson. He passed today, and so we're trying to remember his legacy.
Yeah. Just stick to the topic, Bandit. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I would say that. I guess rest in peace, my guy. Say too much about. I mean, I haven't read much about, but I guess like I'm sure he did a lot.
Amen.
I thought we were here debating or something. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was just listening to it. I thought it was just debating a term of African American or something. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pass the mic. I'm gonna just catch up with this.
That was the topic.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
I have a question for Brother T. Brother T, the thing is, what I don't like about here, I think from our African brothers, is how they put the narrative on Foundational Black American ADOS, like it's a hate group or something, and that's I think it's becoming a democratic.
Because it is.
It's not.
It's a hate group and xenophobic against their own people. Yes, it is.
So my question to you: how do you sit there?
It's a hate group because we don't want y'all to come over here with your messed up liberal policies, destroying families, and
you can't stop that. You can't stop African from being succeeding in America. There's no way you can stop that. I will tell you this.
Very focused in our discussions when we talk about FBA. Because when we, brother T, I mean, you have a
Canel,
right to feel the way you feel, but when you respond this
sister,
way in these type of circles, that's when they say we're a hate group.
Sister Yvette Canel is
because
one of
he
the
is.
most hateful person against Africans ever on YouTube.
Right.
She was part of a bloody, I think, KKK group, that light skinned them, ugly looking them woman with that red nose, reindeer,
That's that one.
damn Irish leprechaun.
But the issue, my concern with the FBA, right, is it's the organization. We got to get organized. You know, have our talking points, be focused, because when we get into these circles and it deviates into other discussion, that's when they start categorizing, taking little snippets.
Mexican
And I
kicking
don't
you out
really
of
see
from
the
your
Pan-African
neighborhood.
thing
Mexican
even
kicking
working
you.
in America. Like
Well, the
Africans
FBA
and
thing ain't working in America.
Africans and FBAs, we're separated. We don't even really just mingle
Yes,
like
that's
Yeah,
that.
but why not you
There's a
go? Why
complete
you why not
cultural
you go
difference,
fight the
man.
Chinese and the
There's no
Mexican
mingling going
and the
on.
Indians
It's a complete cultural
out of your
difference. So I don't
neighborhood?
even see. I think the reason why you guys are mad at FBAs are calling you out because y'all can no longer just speak for us. You know, people are like,
Nobody's
oh man,
speaking for you
Because
guys.
we are from
that's some
African.
fraud from Ghana or something trying to tell FBAs how to act and tell us our history.
Listen.
People are
Bro,
tired of
bro,
that, man.
bro, go for
You know what I'm saying?
Mexican kicking your asses out of your neighborhood. You'll go after them and get them now.
Why do you say these things?
I will.
I'm just trying to say, what FBA runs cover and promotes
better than your elder Jesse
Latinos?
Jackson.
All FBAs want them out too. What are you talking about?
You know better than your elder Jesse Jackson. He
Can
didn't
we pass the mic,
You
please?
separate. Okay? Because you're not thinking. You're following a school dropout called Tariq Nasheed, who used to bullying Africans when they come to the country and they got funny
He
accents.
never went to school. He went to school in Alabama.
Thank you.
You're following a pimp, and then you're following a hateful so-called black woman who was part of a KKK
So
group.
how do you respond to Tariq Nasheed when he said, "You Africans come over here and then you speak for black people by saying they don't deserve reparations"? How do you respond to that? How do you respond to that? You speaking on behalf of the native blacks and saying y'all don't deserve shit. How do you respond to that?
Jesse Jackson is going down in history. So vote.
Exactly. Look. He can't even respond to that. So the FBAs are just supposed to sit there and let some African who got here a year ago tell them what to do.
What makes you think we're going to listen to you?
Man.
Okay?
I'll respond to it.
You don't have to listen to FBAs. Y'all don't anyway. So what are you talking about? We just appreciate you not taking political office and saying you speak for us because you don't. Say I speak for African and the benefit of the Africans in my country. You do not speak for FBAs.
We will respect the African American. We will not respect no ADOS or FBA. I wouldn't mind if you hate Africans because you
don't. But that doesn't change what a FBA is. Just don't. Then who cares?
You hating people from the Caribbean. You hating all black people.
Nobody hates them. Nobody hates them. I find it
let me pass the mic to Michelle. Let me read the super chat and pass the mic to Michelle. Let's see here. The guy better thank FBA, Emma B Squad Gaming. Thank you for the $2 holler. After Michelle, I'm gonna pass it to Burkina Bay. Go ahead, Michelle. Unmute yourself, Michelle.
I don't know. Somebody said at AKHUNWK 3/4, I don't know, 829, you need to enroll in University of Afro-Elite and Tariq Gay Underboss. Come on, baby. This is where your info comes from. And I said, well, let me tell you something. What is wrong with centering your identity in the nation you are in right now? What is wrong with that? Because what happens is with the African diaspora in 2, 3, 4 generations, your children will be here. They're not going back to Africa. Let's be real on what's really happening here. Many Africans, when you go to African continent, they're trying to come here. They're going to Europe. You see the Libyan situation. Okay, so the question is, we probably need to reevaluate Pan-Africanism because Pan-Africanism is not taking us anywhere. You know, rest in peace.
Yourself, sister.
Okay, then why are you in Europe? Why aren't you in Africa?
Well, you have to understand, America is a rich country, so they want the FBAs here to just funnel money back to their continent, and we're not playing that game.
She asked me
We're
a
not
question.
playing
Don't
that
be
game.
rude.
We're not going to send our money over
She
there.
asked me a
We
question.
get no return in that
She asked me a question.
whatsoever.
Don't be rude.
I didn't ask
She
you,
asked
but
me a
I was
question.
addressing the gentleman's comment to me about going after Afrolead and Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed, I mean, again, Tariq Nasheed is an individual. There are other people that understand the FBA lineage concept, such as myself. I don't follow that rhetoric. I don't see any point in going through that rhetoric. And even sometimes with some of the things Brother T is saying, I disagree with it. I don't think we should argue in that way. I think we need to, I wish we were more organized, because it gives people the reason to start saying certain things. And that's what I don't like. Because if we start centering our issue of lineage, because Israel gets money every year from America. No question.
You know why Israel's? You know why white people?
Did you see Indian men chasing black American out of the neighborhood? Go for the Indians. They're chasing you guys every day from the neighborhood. I've seen the videos of some video. Chinese doing it, Mexican doing it, no African taking over your neighborhood, right? So what is your problem? I mean,
You're my problem.
the big fish.
We're in London, you city, I don't know where you are, just talking crazy. And this is why FBA gets so upset and angry.
Right?
Because they are all hood rat, they are all Pookie Ray Ray. I don't waste my time.
Pookie and Ray Ray, guess what? Guess what? Pookie and Ray Ray is American.
So what? They are just
and your cousins back home. I think you're from Sierra Leone. You're from Sierra Leone. I bet you have. You try to
Sierra Leone.
See,
how to pronounce.
That's where you're from.
I'm not
sure you're filing for somebody.
First of all, you have to ask me where am I from. But first of all, the poor country is Sierra Leone. It's not. I don't know how you're pronouncing it.
I'm the best way I can, like you pronounce it in English.
All right. Let's not take away from the show. We have a great man that's passed away. Like I said, Danny, you had a picture of him. I think he was in Ivory Coast.
He was in Cote d'Ivoire. But let me pass the mic to Bukuna Bay. Bukuna Bay, did you speak? Bukuna Bay?
No, I didn't speak yet.
Go ahead.
Yeah. How are you doing, Dennis? How is everybody doing?
Everybody's doing well.
All right. So, rest in peace to Jesse Jackson. And I am all for this appellation, which is African American, okay? I prefer it, but I'll get back to it like before passing the mic, all right? What I want to make clear right now is that if there's an African, a continental African, whoever thinks Black Americans don't deserve reparation from the United States, but then whoever that continental African is, he's a loser and he's not even useful for the African continent, all right? He's a reject and shouldn't be respected by any Black person on the planet, okay? Any serious Black person know that Black Americans are owed. So now, outside of that, the other thing that I wanted to address is this other brother, I think he left, I forgot his name, okay? And he was saying that Black continental Africans come to the United States and then like they take the resources and then they bring it back home, all right? So the one thing that brother need to understand is that it is true that Black Americans built the country, okay? But a very large chunk of the American economy is based on the theft, okay? The current theft of the African resources, okay? So on that basis, every single time that a continental African comes to the United States and bring whatever resources back home, but then he's just following the money. He's just following his own resource, a resource that he's entitled to, all right? So there shouldn't be any issue there, all right? And by the way, the very same resources that we're talking about, Black Americans also are entitled to those resources so long as they identify themselves with us, all right? The ones that are identifying themselves as native Blacks, or like, how do they call it? Like the Indians, the Chickasaws and all of that. Those ones, unfortunately, are cutting themselves from those resources, from the continent, all right? The ones that are identifying themselves with us are automatically entitled to the continental African resources, all right? So now to finish, the last thing I wanted to say, okay? is that the fact that like there's this little identity crisis happening among Black Americans, maybe this should be like a starting point. Maybe we should take opportunity and make this a starting point to go back to the ways of the old. Like what I mean is that like the people who predated us, all right, our ancestors, because like for you guys who know, maybe you know or maybe you don't, right? But at some point, the entirety of the African continent used to be called Ethiopia, all right? And then later on, but then a big chunk of the continent was called Sudan, all right? And then in between that, ancient Kemet, like ancient Egypt, used to be bigger, greater than what we see right now. And it covered like a great chunk of like the entire continent. So maybe this should be a starting point.
Brother.
Maybe this should be a starting. Maybe this should be a starting point for us to go back to the thing of old.
Brother,
the way the old people,
brother, don't take it
our
back.
ancestors
like that.
used to see the.
You're going off, brother.
Brother, there's no fucking.
Can I finish?
There's no fucking.
I'm almost finished. I'm almost
answers for protecting no shit. We should deal with.
I'm almost finished.
Now, and let's
I'm almost finished.
If we want to unite, let's start it now in the present. We blacks.
I'm almost finished, brother.
Can't make all this
I'm
nonsense.
almost finished.
Okay,
I'm almost finished. All right. So all I'm trying to say is that maybe this identity crisis, maybe we should take opportunity, okay, by this identity crisis that's happening among Black Americans, to go back to the way of like our ancestors when they used to see the entire continent as one, because this used to happen, whether you like it or not, Ola. So yeah, this is all I have to say for now.
Brother, they can't even. Some of them don't even want to be associated with a recent African name, let alone going back.
Wait. You know what is killing? You know what is killing Black people? Somewhere like United States, where Africans and Black Americans cannot really unite together. Both of them are always going to the past. When you're in a place like United States, right? Forget about the past. They can have their identity. Africans have their own identity. I think it's good that we can come together in common interest, right? Not interest that will affect each other interest. How to form a power block so that both of them can survive in a place that they are. Black Americans have to take the lead because they've been there for years. They know the mentality of the white people there. White people, they're always coming together. That's why they create jobs. That's why they have companies. That's why they're running the country. Black Americans have their own history. The Black Americans, that's their identity now. But they have to also form a very powerful bloc first. Be very, very strong. They have to deal with the present and the future, what will come later. Then now, how can they form together to form a very big block of economical bloc? So that both of them can have a common interest, because United States is not just one race. With United States is multiple type of race. The Asians don't like Black people. As well, the Indians don't like. The Indians hate both Black Americans and the Africans themselves. You understand me?
Yeah.
The Filipinos don't like Africans at all, or Black America. So you can fight and call yourself Jesus Christ, whatever you want to call yourself. The both races, both the white, both the Indians, all of them see you put the same. But what do you have to do? You live there for 500 years. Form a powerful bloc. No hate. No say I hate you because you're from Africa. It's not going to do nothing to you. Because if you say I hate you, Africa, the Latino says I hate you, you African descendants. What you go do? Form a powerful bloc in the country like United States, so that both of Black American Africans can have a common goal. That goal is power, economy. Once you have that, nobody can challenge you anymore. But if you don't have that, they will throw you out of your neighborhood. You don't have no real estate. You don't have nothing. You can't even control a whole state or a district. Then, man, you just be like a bird fly without no nest. That's one thing. It's good for Black Americans to have their own identity. That is good because they've been there for years. They need that identity. With that identity, they can maybe for themselves back and become, very important. All this just Jassy, be so rest in peace. He said some of these leaders were actually not doing their work for a very long time. They were busy eating jollof rice in Guinea, Karachi.
Exactly. Thank you. I saw him there.
I got to pass the mic to M. Go ahead, M. Unmute yourself.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I want to talk about the topic, Jesse Jackson. I think when he made us African Americans, when he changed our identifier, moniker, national identity to African American in the 1980s, it was at a time when we was being bombarded in the media with Shaka Zulu, Roots. You know, we had Coming to America. The Afrocentric movement was heavy. In the colleges, we just came out of helping South Africa with the divestment movement to end apartheid. So I think he had like high expectations for us and Africans to somehow. And also when he was working with Dr. King in the '60s, Malcolm X and them was going to Africa, Patrice Lumumba. You know, it was like a idealistic situation. But as we look at the results of it, I think we should reconsider those decisions of changing us to African Americans, because we was in Africa since the 1700s, and we never was called Africans until 1980. And if you think about it,
brother,
because we had like Sierra Leone, Liberia. Why did they call us? They never called us Africans in Africa, but we called ourselves Africans because of Jesse Jackson, and it has been met with
that's not true,
hostility.
brother. What are you talking about?
Can I finish? Now,
you don't know your history, bro.
So you telling me Sierra Leone wasn't established in the 1700s?
No. African Americans have always been Africans. They were African from the time they hit them.
We was never called Africans.
Who told you that?
We was called Negroes.
You think we ain't
we was called colored? We was called all types of things. But it was Jesse Jackson. Hold on. It was Jesse Jackson.
Here in England.
Hold on. It was Jesse Jackson because he had political power at the time. He ran for president. He had the clout, so he was able to do this.
Go and look at the slave advertisement when they wanted to sell slaves. They've got Africans on it, Negro on it. Africans.
They said Negroes for sale. But I would say this though. Let me finish. Now look, when Jesse Jackson had his political clout, he used it to support Africa and also to support us being united with Africa. And a lot of people now are saying that when Africans and non-Black Americans, when y'all get political clout, y'all are talking about we don't deserve reparations. Y'all are using y'all political power that y'all acquire because of the movements, partially because of Jesse Jackson. Y'all are using it to oppress us. And I think that we should.
Bro, you're crazy, bro.
Byron Donald, Wes Moore. Y'all are against reparations. Y'all are, and also. Y'all have never y'all have never offered us land. The only reason we got Liberia and Sierra Leone is because the British.
Brother,
they gave it to us. Africans have never offered us anything.
Have you asked for land?
He is right on that. He is right on that. Ed is right on that.
Well, let me finish. Now, hold on. Can I finish at least? Now, I'm pretty sure everybody in this chat have been made aware of NVIDIA naming their AI chip after this black scientist, this black doctor, Blackwell, David Blackwell, the architect of AI. In the 1940s, he received his doctorate degree at the age of 22. This was during apartheid. This was during like colonialism, and he was recruited to teach at Berkeley. But I'm saying the reason I'm bringing this up is the only people who ever recruited me to go to anywhere, as far as like offering me to go to their country, was the Asian people. The Taiwanese is heavy for recruiting Black Americans. Africans don't even recruit our greatest minds. Like in the 1950s, you telling me a black man and wrote the architecture for AI, and y'all couldn't have saw that we had the potential to recruit.
What's the name of the AI? What's the name? What is the name?
All artificial intelligence and
no, I'm saying the name of the chips that you're talking about.
It's called the Blackwell chip.
The chip is called the Blackwell chip. The most powerful AI chip is named after Dr. Blackwell.
Who made the chip? Where
mathematics.
Where they produce the chip?
Based off of
where they produce the chip?
Where? Because I was watching EYL last week.
Where they produce the chip?
Yeah. Now
where they produce the chip?
I
think it doesn't matter where they produce the chip.
No, because you got to be specific. The only chip that is being produced by.
I'm almost done. Let me finish. Let me finish what I'm saying.
No, I just want a point of correction. The only chip that is being produced is in Hong Kong. They got semiconductor for AI. It's
Taiwan,
designed in America,
the
but it's
same. Look,
produced
look.
in
What I
Hong
just
Kong.
said was the
So I'm not sure
only
which chip you're
Asians.
talking about.
Look, listen. In the early 2000s, the Taiwanese, during the time when Apple used them, chose them to make their chips for the iPhone, they were heavily recruiting Black Americans to go to Taiwan to teach English or whatever. They was literally coming to us on the streets, canvassing, offering us to go there and to live there. It's a lot of Black people that actually did, but we never saw Africans go to America specifically to recruit us.
May I
Usually the
respond?
Black Americans that go to Africa, it's our own volition, like Dynas and other people. We choose to go there, but y'all never offer us anything. Y'all never recruit us. Y'all don't advertise anything. Y'all are totally. So I think we should reconsider this African American name.
I gotta pass the mic. Let me pass the mic.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Pierre. Go ahead, Pierre. Unmute yourself, Pierre. All right. Go ahead, Black Beauty.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Long time I haven't been on your panel, but I was abroad for a while, so I'm back in New York after.
Long time no see, sister. Glad to see you back.
Ekaso, as they say at night. Well, I will tell you what. After spending like 85% of my time in Nigeria over the last 5 years, my husband is a Nigerian. Okay. After spending so much time there and really coming to understand, I think it's an interesting concept of like when people say the Africans didn't recruit us or they didn't come to get us. I understand that mindset and I understand that completely. But as I've lived there now for months, 11 months straight, 8 months straight, 9 months straight, like I can tell you there's nothing to offer you. What are they going to come and offer? I hate to say that, and I don't want to offend any Africans, right? Because I don't want to offend any of the Africans because I love you. But the truth is that there's really not much to offer. I mean, even in big bad Nigeria, Wahala Day, every day, you can't rest. You can't even life is not even stress-free. Every day cada dia. Every day is a Wahala problem day. Every day. There's no other way to say it. Real Nigerians know. The ones born and raised there, they know. There's really nothing to come and offer to an African American. In fact, when we get over there, it's us to offer them. Like I have 4 people that work for me in Nigeria. Okay, so Shetibo, you must understand that there's really not much to offer. And I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way. I'm saying it in that you all are not the ones that tally up. You're not the talisman of the resources, as we say in the Caribbean. You're not the talisman. You don't count up the resources. You just come, gather the resources, bring the resources, come. You understand? Bring the resources, come. And another thing that we need to remember is we are a resource. You have to remember, as an African, the number one resource is your body. When you take your body from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Cote d'Ivoire, and you put it up in this system, and they exhaust your body for every work that they can get out of you, and they pay you basic wages, right? You are the resource, honey. So just want to remind you guys that I love y'all. Black Beauty.
Welcome back, sister. Thank you.
Oh, I don't know what to say.
Who says that we haven't offered this, haven't offered that? Our countries were not industrialized. I've never been industrialized. Our fight is to industrialize our countries so we can give jobs to our people. And when that happens, then we can offer you something.
Yes, and when I mean offer, let me go back to you. When I mean offer, this is what I mean, Luis, because you know how I think. When I mean offer, I don't mean here, come and bring this thing and take this thing for free, because we don't need nothing for free. We got the most money out of all the Black people. We don't need nothing for free, number one. Number two, when we come into your place and we're ready to do business, the ease of business, there's a lack of ease of business all throughout West Africa. It's very difficult. I set my business up. It took me so long. It's very difficult. I just got back with 1,000 bottles of product because you know what? Sales are very, very difficult in the West and West Africa. There's not a lot of what we consider disposable income. So it's very difficult. Like, this is a consumer base in the US. We have this is a huge consumer base. We're buyers. People, they consume here, right? So it's not going to be as easy as it sounds. Like, it's one thing when you say we have to get ourselves together. When I say offer us the opportunity to help you organize, offer us the opportunity to help grow foundationally, because there's not even a foundation, not even in a place like Nigeria. You can get things done, but it takes a lot of jumping through hoops, babes. It takes a lot of pretending that that's my husband. It takes a lot of getting that girl to pretend she's my sister to get something done for me. You understand?
Yeah. If you're going back to Africa to do anything,
I just came back from Africa last week.
I understand. I'm just saying.
I live there, babes.
Yeah, it's if you're going back to Africa doing
Black Beauty.
Yeah, you have to be. Black Beauty,
yeah, you have to be self-sufficient.
I am self-sufficient, but the point is, I think the main thing, Luis, you know it's really hard for me, and I don't want to offend anybody, right? But you know it's very, very hard for me as a learned, highly intelligent African American woman with success under my belt, under my belt. Okay, you know it's very hard for me when I go to a place like Nigeria and I just ask for one thing, very simple, and then it become a 20-minute conversation about why a person can't do something. And then they look at me like I'm dumb, and I'm just like, but this thing is, and even if I know how to get it done, so I've done a little show and tell in Nigeria. So when people try to tell me no, what I do is I go above them, around them, and then I show them how to get it done. Because I don't have time to sit down and have your conversation and your argument for a half hour. Get out my face with all that nonsense and get to business. Stop crying.
I just wanted to add.
Stop lamenting and handle my business.
I was making a point, and she just made that point. Let me just say,
I just wanted to add to I just wanted to add to what Louis said about industrialization.
I want to hear what Louis is about to say right now.
Listen, I'm here in England, and I'm about 5 years late for the business I want to do. Why? Because I've realized in order for me to do anything in Africa, I can't rely upon nobody for nothing, including my family.
It's a fact.
Okay? So I'm making sure that I organize myself in such a way whereabouts when I step outside my workshop or my house, okay, that I don't have to rely upon you for nothing. I'm not getting on that plane until I've got everything that I need to do what I got to do there.
That's a fact.
And so whatever business you're in, that's what I've discovered. I don't know what other people have discovered. I think you might have discovered.
Let me give you an example, Louis, of what's happening today specifically. I have a product. It's being advertised with Tasha K's channel, right?
Yeah.
I have my assistant going and posting comments underneath her YouTube videos so that she can pin them and match them against my product. You know, my assistant sat there for an hour posting comments, and do you know not one bomba clot comment I saved on the computer them?
Get rid of her, man.
No, it's not her.
Oh,
I'm with her. No. I plucked this girl specifically after watching her work for someone else for a year. She worked at one of my homeboys' gyms. I plucked her specifically. She does her fucking job. She did a lot of shit for me. She's very reliable. We have the same name. She's very, very reliable. She come to work on time, everything. It's not her fault that Fiber One fucking internet can't work. That every time I look around Fiber One, I did crash. That's why I can't go. I'm supposed to be going in another week. I told my husband, come meet me in the Bahamas, you know? We can't do this no more. Come to the Caribbean. And leave the Caribbean have good internet.
Yeah. You may have to go to Elon Musk, unfortunately, for your internet connection.
I have Starlink. Let me tell you what happened in December. Let me tell you what happened in December. When everybody come back for them dirty December. When everybody came back for them dirty December. I have 3 internets. I have MTN.
Yeah.
I have Fiber One, like built into my apartment, Fiber One. I have MTN, obviously, that you can move around, but it's in the apartment. And then I have the Starlink that I brought from New York. Let me tell you how there was even 1 week in December. Now, Starlink is slow.
What?
MTN not work. Fiber One down. I said I won't.
Why does your accent keep changing?
Because I'm a Jamaican. I'm not born and raised, and I'm not a Nigerian. My husband's Nigerian. I'm a Jamaican. The accent I have is a Jamaican accent. You mad? So that's why.
But Black Beauty, can I add to what Louis was saying about industrialization?
Hey guys, let me pass the Pierre for Pierre. Go ahead. Unmute yourself, Pierre. Unmute yourself, Pierre. Pierre. Oh, go ahead.
Black Beauty, what is the name of your product so I can support? That's more important. Let's support.
Oh yes, it's called Layla Wash. It's available in New York.
How you spell the Layla?
LAILA wash.com. Go to every website. It's available. 29,000 naira, $20 here. We deliver, etc.
Layla, because do you do anything for special skin? Like
no, this is. Let me tell you what the product is now.
Okay.
It's for the lady them. Clean up them pum pum.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, okay, that area. Okay.
It's an intimate cleanser, 100% natural, Nigeria's first of its kind.
Okay.
And it will be on Big Brother. So I think that's the only way I will be able to sell in Nigeria, because the customer base, they look. I mean, I have plenty of people looking and asking questions, and every question was how much. I can't just sell it to the 5 girls that I take Pilates with. So where's the customer base?
So Dinus, can I add to what Louis was saying about industrialization?
Bakita Bay, let's help this sister. Dinus, can we help this sister? Can we help our sister here?
Hey, Yoni wash is very important. Absolutely.
It is and it's 100% natural, and it's made in Nigeria. All of the actually is a lady, she's a Yoruba lady, but she lives in the UK. It's her lab I use. All of the ingredients are from West Africa, specifically Nigeria, maybe Ghana if we need to source something else. 100% natural.
We're gonna help you, sister. We're gonna help you.
Maybe you should change your target audience.
Let me tell you, say your man there, he's gonna love you, you hear? Your man gonna love you when you take this one. Now you see this one? You take this one, 2 pumps of this one, you rub it around, you put some hot water there on. Now you smell so good, y'all.
That's right.
Let me pass to Pierre. Go ahead, Pierre.
Yeah, you guys can hear me now, right?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, so about that. Every time I mute, it was acting crazy on my phone. Check this out. I just want to make this quick comment, make these 3 points, and then I'll just listen to what you guys have to say. I'm going to be brutally honest here. I don't want to offend nobody. I'm just going to be brutally honest. Everybody wants us as Black people globally to fit with the term African, but or as we all come from Africa, or all Black people want term African. But the thing is, Africa has failed us as a people, because when you look at Europe and the status of Europe and how they first started colonizing Africa before us, and then when you look at the status of the Black people in Americas, and even with Haiti and the Caribbean, the thing is, Africa should have learned from colonialism, from the way Europe colonized the Black people of the world. For some reason, they never learned from that, and they continue to get hit with new forms of neocolonization today, from the Sudan to the Congo, to even when the AES stands up and does the honest thing of act of Pan-Africanism to move from ECOWAS, which was exploiting them. Even the nations don't join them. So it's from a real bad example, especially when you compare it to China and how China rose to status. Now, let me make my point before anybody attack me. I'm just making these points, you know? So that's one thing, because if Africa as a continent would have done what they had to do out of whatever Congress they had or whatever things they did, and let intelligence agencies, they wasn't aware of a war now, because it's a war that's been, it's basically a war. There's different types of war. There's Cold War, hot war. You know, when the CIA is controlling you, removing your leaders for a purpose, it's different types of war. But basically, if they would have learned the lesson from the Black people status that was being colonized by Europe during the conference, they'd be better. B, the other point I want to make is connected to the ancient advanced Black civilizations of North Africa, which is Mesopotamia, which is an ancient advanced Black civilization. Egypt, ancient technologically advanced Black civilization of North Africa.
Now, forget about this history. Talk about now.
Wait. Let me make my point. Let me finish. Don't get upset, boy. I'm going to finish this up quick. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is that there's a difference when you look at the civilizations of the civilizations of old of Africa. There was ancient advanced black civilizations, and there were the normal ones. The ancient advanced ones were the Mesopotamian, the Egyptian, the Lemurian, the Atlantean, and the Olmecs. Now, those are the ones that brought civilizations. What I'm saying is, if you look at the Phoenicians were black. They were the Americas. Now, I'm getting into the term African American. Okay, let me make this term about African American. I'll let you guys have it. Now, when the term African American, when you look at the Phoenicians, that's the thing. Africa, you're not connected, you don't know knowledge on the history.
He's gonna wind down at something.
Now, the Phoenicians were first to come to the Americas.
He's gonna wind down at something.
Now, when you look at they were the first Asian advanced black civilizations in the Americas. And what I'm saying is, when the European came over here, there were already black civilizations established in America before the white Europeans got over here. And the point I'm making to you is that it was those people in the Americas, they're already going tobacco and everything. They have farms in Virginia and everything. They're the ones who taught the European how to do the grow tobacco and everything. And when you look at the Homestead Acts, even MLK said it. I find myself on my own land. He said something like that. But when you look at the Homestead Acts, when you say African American, that's the only group in America that's been disenfranchised and reclassified since chattel slavery to the term Negroes, Afro-American, Black Indian, to everything they were making up colored until finally the Boule class. They had the Boule because the Boule was in it because they found out about the Boule by accident. It was the guy's name isn't coming to me, but he found out about the Boule by accident. But basically, that's the only group that's been disenfranchised and reclassified by different names to African American. They got with African American, and when you look at that suspect, because even the guy who wrote Roots, they take him to court and they said that was a fake story. Alex Haley, he's Boule too. They were all in on it. The whole Roots thing of the translate, that's all a brainwash because it was really an intercontinental slave trade. They was just picking up here, going there, and switching up the thing because that trip they tell you about and all that, if you look at the numbers, all the Africans, they shipped it to South America. Only like 3-4% they brought to the Americas. But I just want to make those few points, and then you guys could, give me your feedback, and that's it.
Give me 2 seconds. You see,
Thank you, Pierre.
This is a problem. This is a problem with black people.
Why do you think that way? This is the problem.
Let him fit. This kind of schizophrenic behavior that I don't understand really. Chinese will laugh at us. What other group will laugh at us. I don't understand about whatever old Turkish or North America. I don't understand it. We talk about now. We don't talk about old history that never really exists and started bringing it to present. Black people are the only people who does not have nothing going on. If you check, black people are very wicked to themselves. Anyway, look at that guy called Isabot. He saved his money in Jamaica. What happened? A lady who was working there, one of his bank officers, stole that money. Look at this guy, the commander from Ghana, Michael Blacksey. He had $1 million to run the school over there. They stole it. So black people are very wicked. You can't trust them anyway. You can never trust black people.
They didn't steal his money. That was get from PR. No, brother, listen.
It's a boat also, so they didn't steal his money. There's also stole the money also. We're very wicked to ourselves. We're very wicked. That is it's all part of the trace. Wickedness. They don't ever really love themselves. They can't even come together to form a power block to create anything. They all look for all kind of mess to judge against each other without no achieving no bullshit. Or to talk and scam and all Nigerians are scammers. All black people are scammers. They're very good at this nonsense, lies, and
like
everything.
You're making generalizations.
You know, you can't trust them not in business. You can't trust the business. If you borrow the money, they don't pay. Man, this guy brag about old school that never really exists. Talk about where you are now. Even 500 years is even too far. All our leaders are corrupt. They're taking the money to London, to United States, to France. The same problem now. You know, don't talk about past glory that never really exists. You fucking Negro living in West Africa and Central Africa, nothing else. No achievement, nothing else there. Both the female and the male, they're all fucking liars.
You sound pessimistic. You sound negative. Can I say something?
May I ask Brother M a question when he has a moment? Thank you.
Can I respond? The man in charge. I guess so. So I want to respond to what the lady said earlier, as far as like she was saying she's married to a Nigerian and they don't have much to offer. I wasn't really saying that they should offer us something, because they have a lot. They have like millions of acres, millions of square miles of land. They have resources, diamonds, platinum, uranium, oil. They have a lot to offer. But what we have to offer them is expertise, because the Black Americans are the ones who actually developed the digital cellular network. What, Jesse Russell, most of the mathematics, most of the world's technology. So we can help Africa with their infrastructure, but they don't seem to want it. They don't want us. They don't see the like.
You might be right.
Go ahead. Ask the question you was gonna ask me. Go ahead.
There ain't no listen. We had our own president. The last president we had, Nanado, made trips to America. He was actually given an award from the. Sorry.
Thief, isn't one of his colleagues here in Virginia, where I am, stole $92 million? Come on now.
And nobody stole $92 million from anywhere. Okay. Anyway, he was given an award. Okay, from the NSAPCA, or one of the big African American
the Coons, the Boulay he was just talking about.
Okay, whoever. He has an embassy there. We are constantly looking out. But the fact of the matter is, African American businesses don't want to do or take an interest in Africa. Let's just be honest.
Can I give an example? Let me give one quick example. Let me give one quick.
The contracts are there. It's open bid. Everybody can bid for it. They're not looking to do it.
No.
Okay?
Louis,
right? So let's just stop this. They're not giving us that. You have to go and out for it. If there's an oil block, everybody bids. Go and bid.
But Louis,
don't stand and say Africans ain't doing that. Why comes white man, the Chinese man, the Lebanese man?
Louis, look,
you ain't going there.
During December or early January, whenever I Show Speed came to Nigeria, I was in Nigeria when he came. Remember when and then he went somewhere else. Maybe it wasn't in Nigeria. He went somewhere like Rwanda after, or wherever he went after that. Remember when he went into that gallery for the diamonds? And then he says to the guy, "What do I have to do to buy a diamond?" And the guy says to him, "Oh no, we can't sell to you." And he says, "What do you mean? I have the money. Like I got it. I want to buy a diamond, rough cut." And they told him, that they cannot, because there's only two sellers of diamonds in their country.
Yeah.
And it's either De Beers or the other one. The African black man said American. And this is what
I think it was Botswana.
And this is what I was referring to when I said they don't have anything to offer. It's not that they don't have anything to offer. It's not in their control, hon. It's not under their guise. They don't have the power over their own resources, hon. They can't offer.
Right.
Because De Beers controls those resources right there.
That was a dirty deal done by De Beers. Okay. Now they've been exposed for it. That's not the only business you can do in Africa. There's loads of business.
No, I know, but that's just an example of how you think you're going to go and do something. Because trust me, I'm all about doing. I'm a doing type of person.
We cannot even
in
America.
Go and do something. Right. You go and do something, and then everyone's jumping in your fucking way. That's annoying for a person.
That's what I say. If you're going to do Africa, make sure you're.
That's because they only want the white man to do it.
No,
they don't want the black American. They want the white man. They want the Chinese. They want the Lebanese. That's what they offer the contracts. That's what they offer the money to.
Listen, what do you manufacture?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
They don't want the Russians.
There is African business.
Not necessarily. It depends on the African country. I mean, you can't generalize. In Nigeria, how they operate is not how Ivory Coast operate. how
What's
Ivory
wrong with
Coast
putting
operates, not how
Nigerians in your
Senegal operates.
country?
What services?
They've
I want to
had
make a
money
quick point.
forever.
I want to
We've
make a
got
quick
rich
point real
black people
quick.
like that here who've had money forever. The rich Nigerians been rich for generations.
Check this
I've
out.
slept
Check
with a
this
couple
out.
of
Yeah,
them. They've
I
been rich
agree with
forever.
that. I agree.
So check
I
this
agree
out.
with
Check
Black
that.
this
But
out.
Americans with money they've been around for a long time too.
Excuse me.
yeah,
Can I make
but
a
when you
point
go
real
to
quick?
when you go into
Can I make
Africa,
a
one
point real
second. When
quick?
you go into Africa, okay, 1 second. When you go into Africa, you need to know what type of business you're going to do over there, because there are
I'm
different
doing
type
a
of
business.
business.
You know what I'm doing? I'm doing the business that it seems to make sense and it's beneficial, but I think the
Afro is a
main
good
thing is
business.
the
Stick to it.
promotion engine. So I
No,
have to wait for Big
Okay.
Brother. When I put it on Big Brother, I will sell. So I'm
right.
not worried.
Stick to
Hey
it.
guys,
Okay, inshallah.
I gotta pass the mic to African Giant 1 2 3. Go ahead, African
Can I make
Giant
a point? All right.
African Giant 1 2 3. Go ahead. African Giant 1 2 3. Go ahead.
Hey, Dynasty.
Yes.
Go ahead, bro.
Yes.
Hey, Dynasty. Thank you for hosting the show. I'm a big yeah. Hey, Dynasty, thank you for hosting the show. I really appreciate it. Just want to shout out to Black Beauty. What's the website? Because
I put it in the chat like 4 times, but if Diners, can you pin one of them in the chat? It's LaylaWatch.com.
Put it in the chat again and I'll pin it.
Okay, it's www.LaylaWatch.
Yeah, because I like to place an order. I have like a whole bunch of family members that would love to have that.
Your
I got a
girlfriend.
bunch of females in my family, so I definitely like to place
100%
an order.
natural. They're gonna love it. Look, I put it right in the chat.
Yeah, I appreciate you, sister.
Appreciate you. Okay.
I don't. You know what? Black Beauty, are you using your phone or what? What do you?
No,
well,
I'm on one computer for the chat, and I'm on another computer for my.
Yeah, because it's not. I don't see it. Oh, you put it in the private chat. Okay. Oh no, hold on.
No, I put it in the.
Okay,
No.
I found it in the private chat. I got it right here. Layla
No,
Watch.
but I put it in the main chat too, like 4 or 5 times. You don't see it?
No,
What?
I found it in the private chat. All right, I'm about to pin it.
Thank you.
No, there we go.
Guys, enjoy. And you know what? I will open up a code tonight, 10% off. I will put Prince Dynast. That's the code.
There we go.
I'll put that in a print code. Prince give me like 20 minutes. Let me put it right now. Give me like 20
no problem.
minutes. Prince Dynast code 10% off. You hear me?
Oh, thank you, sister.
All right, blessings.
Thank you. Let me put that in, that discount.
All right, go ahead, Pierre.
Yo, enough respect to her business. Keep the yonis fresh and clean. I like that. But the point I wanted to make was about Nigeria. Because if you look at Nigeria, it was started by the British. Them the ones who put the different ethnic groups together. And when you look at them, they were willing to come together, even though they're different ethnic groups, Igbo, Fulani, all that, and work under the British colony for that. But when you look at them now, Nigeria is supposed to be a superpower. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. When you look at them, when you talking about on the stage, global stage, Nigeria is supposed to be a superpower. But when you look at it, instead of breaking away from ECOWAS and joining AES, right now, their so-called president is being a stooge because everybody knows the war on terror is fake and they got troops in there instead of doing Pan-Africanism, ready to stabilize the AES. And then when you look at it, and then ISO Speed had to leave Africa because he said so many people were begging him over there. So you Africans got to keep it real about your status, man. You got to be
Thank you.
much better. But when you look
No,
at
he's
it,
right though. He's right. He's right. He's 100%
and
right.
its geopolitical position, it shouldn't be allowed. And then its puppet president is connected to CIA. I'm gonna leave that alone. So I can understand why he's allowing them to go ahead and bring troops in there to destabilize the AES. But everybody knows the progenitors of the war on terror is the US, and they use that as an excuse everywhere. And Mali already proved that the war on terror is fake. But I just want to make those points. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's Nigerian situation. It's bit, let's not make it about Nigeria, but he's put a lot of fact, bro. I agree with most of the things he said. No. But yeah, Black Beauty, your business that you're doing, it seems to be quite a good idea. Have you been to Cape Verde before?
No, I haven't, but I really wish I could go. I'm excited to go to a place like Cape
Yeah.
Verde, but I need to be up before I go over there. I need to when I
Yeah.
say be up, what I mean is this business needs to be more profitable so I can quit my job and like really do Africa how I want to. Because really, as
Right.
it stands, one of the reasons what makes it so difficult for me in Africa is like I'm a digital professional. I work for a big bank and I need my laptop to function at all times. And I can't fuck with the internet right now. Like internet was so good when we got there during COVID. They like kind of spoiled us a little bit in Nigeria. The internet was fabulous. And then boom,
Right.
2023, internet just fell down. I don't know what happened.
Mm. And so have you tried other countries? Do you speak French? Have you tried Ivory Coast,
No,
Senegal?
yo hablo español. But I can put it, I want to put it in other places. I want to put it in Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire. I want to but first, let's make it do what it do where it's from. You
Right.
understand?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Because it's hard, you know what? It's very hard to, it's very, very hard. It's actually easier for me to sell only in one country in Africa and sell here in the States than it is for me because it's very hard to like sell across West Africa with like there's a lot of problems that happen with deliveries and stuff like that. So it's actually kind of hard. So the way I envision
the custom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get some African opinions about something?
Yeah,
Can I get some African people's opinions about something real quick?
Sure.
If
go on.
that's okay. So I was doing some research, I think, a couple of months ago about Nigeria because I was in this class. I go to school for architecture, and one of the students was bragging about how great Nigeria is. So it caused me to do some research. So what I came up with the research I came up was Nigeria was called the Royal Niger Company first.
Yes.
The Royal Niger Company. The Royal Niger Company still exists. Do you know that?
It's
It
Unilever,
still
right?
exists to this day. Unilever.
I know
All
that.
of the products and
Burner
resources
taught us that.
is still controlled by a British company. To this day, it still exists. And then Nigeria, the country that Unilever is the actual country.
GlaxoSmith.
A multinational corporation. What are you going to do about that?
The beers, the sister mentioned about the diamond in Botswana. The sister mentioned the diamond about Botswana. That was the beers, okay? That's the one that control.
I'm talking about Unilever. That's the actual Nigerian country. That controls all of the natural resources over there.
These are the corporations who are eating in Africa, especially West Africa. Glencore, Unilever, and all these branches. These are the things
Africa.
these are the ones that are eating us. I said that yesterday. They send the corporations in. They send the corporations in. They send the boots behind them to back them up. There's nothing you can do about it. Period. That's how things are.
Yeah,
there's no two-way about it.
Very well fighting back with the refineries, which is huge.
Well, I looked at Dangote's website a couple months ago to see if there was a job on there because I was, I'm always interested in working in Africa. I love Africa. If Dangote had a job that would pay me like how I get paid, so I looked. Man, I don't know what they pay in them directors. You hear me?
Well, he's about to open the second refinery.
And his pay rate is actually better than the other companies I looked at. Like if you want to be a corporate person in Nigeria, you can't have worked in the States. No way, because your expectations are just out of this world compared to what they can pay. But if they could at least pay a fraction of what I make, like I don't need the whole thing. If they could pay a third of what I make, I'd be down. But they don't even pay that. I mean, there are directors at Access Bank making $400,000 a month. That's nothing.
Well, it's like Indian workers in the IT business obviously are paid less. That's just the way of the world, unfortunately.
It's unfortunate.
But I love the move he's making. He's the guy I see as the president of Nigeria. Because the move he makes, no Nigerian president has been able or leader. I mean, nobody's done this in the world, let alone. This man is taking refined oil, petrol to America to sell.
Excuse me.
He's about to open a second refinery that's going to supply Africa. You know how much money that means that we ain't got to put abroad? Ghana could now.
Excuse me, Prince. I put in the private chat how that Ghanaian stole over $92 million from Ghana. Please check.
Sorry, let me get them. Let me get. No, he hasn't. He hasn't stolen nothing. Right. Basically, what's happened is that the refinery, the second refinery, once he opens that one, okay.
This is the issue why we get upset. We're reflecting.
That means billions of pounds.
There's nothing in the private chat. There's not a link
in
there.
Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's about
Michelle. You got to put an actual link to the article.
Yeah. He haven't stolen no money. I tell you what, all this is.
Put a link to the article.
Yeah, he haven't stolen nothing. I tell you what this is, right? This is John Mahama when he was in opposition, making lies against Nana those people, and now it's stuck. Okay, until he goes to court and they say you stole this, and that, he ain't stole nothing. John Mahama's dirty tricks is coming back to haunt him now that he's in power. That's all this is. I know Ghanaian politics is just dirty mudslinging. That's all it is. He ain't stolen nothing. Okay, they left the administration. They left the country in a better situation than it was when they took it over. Okay, that's why John Mahama is able to have a smooth ride now. Don't be listening to all that PR crap that the Ghanaian politicians put out there. They do.
But the reason why I bring it up, because you want to sit here across the pond and make judgments about black people.
No, I'm not making judgments. I'm from Ghana and I know the dirty politics. Don't believe none of that until the judge puts his foot down. Okay, ain't no Ghanaian administration corrupt like that. That's just dirty politics to play among themselves till they can get in power.
Okay. The sister that said they live in Nigeria. This sister said they live in Nigeria. How can you live United States? You want to have a job in Nigeria. You wanted to pay you $7,000.
Honey,
I don't know how much
you know who
wanted
you're
to
talking
pay you.
to, so you just can address me. Hi, how you doing? Long time. I know exactly.
Yeah. Okay. How you doing, please? I'm very sorry.
Sondada.
How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah.
You live United States, right? You go into Nigeria to have a job.
No,
You
not
don't
to
get
have
no
a job. I have a job
Okay.
already.
Okay. Okay, you have a job in the States already,
Hell
right?
yeah. Hell yeah.
But,
I'm a big
but
rubber
try
bitch.
to work in Nigeria. They won't even pay you the money you wanted to pay you.
No.
Because-
What I'm saying, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is, like, Nigeria, you're ahead by 5 or 6 hours in the morning, right? So like I could get busy in the morning and do a little something, contribute to the economy, and still have my job. And that was something I was prepared to do. So I was looking at different places where I could apply myself and have that experience under my belt. That's important to me. It's really a resume builder. It has nothing to do with money. I got money. I'm good.
I got you. When you're in Nigeria, right? You can be a product or you brand yourself. You yourself can be a product.
I know, but
I
know, but I don't want to be a product per se in Africa. Do you understand?
Why?
Because there are other girls who do it better, like what's her name? Cora OBD. Jane Mena. Those girls do it better, so let them do it.
You can be a business. Look, I don't know where you're from. You're from the States, right? Black America, right?
I'm Jamaican.
Right. You don't need to integrate to the Nigeria system if you don't want that. You don't need to come as yourself as a Black American.
That's what I came as.
Throw your product up. Be yourself. Be the product of what you're selling. Even you be Black American alone, they will trust you more with your products.
Can I tell you something? There's really not too much hassle around the product because the product pretty much just started to get sold. It took me like a year to even make
that's
it.
good.
It took me mad long to get the NAFDAC number.
You
That's
can
actually
walk around, try to drive around, meet people in the offices, meet Laura KG, maybe Sister Madak, the blog, maybe put your line on.
Well, I would tell you, in Africa, I prefer to deal with men. I let the men do my business. I let my husband do my business with the men.
Okay. But you can also talk to the women also, because those are far more business savvy in Africa than the men.
Yes, some of them, but I think sometimes when you have women, they want to. What I'm saying is, this is supposed to be like a faceless brand. Y'all know my face because we're on Dynast. This brand is its own brand. I don't really want to put my face on it too much. And I think sometimes what I've noticed in Africa, and especially with women that do businesses, a lot of it is a lot of like promotional and like hangout and like bullshit sisterly stuff. And like, I'm not into that. I'm on a hustle tip, like I'm trying to sell this, like how they sell makeup in Sephora. I'm not looking to build, I have my girl, she do what she got to do. I have the lady whose lab it is. She's a fantastic lady. She's highly knowledgeable. And she directs me to people to consult me for my product. But when it comes down to like aligning with the social media girls, like they go shake their ash. What I will do is I'll pay them to advertise my product on their platform. I'm not ready for it yet. But I'm going to pay like Cora and Jane Mena to put my product on their platform. I'm not ready yet.
Guys, let me play this this news segment about the ex-finance minister of Ghana.
Ghana's former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, has been detained by U.S. authorities, his lawyers said late on Wednesday. Ofori-Atta, who's in the U.S. for medical treatment, is wanted at home on suspicion of corruption. He was declared a fugitive last February and formally charged in November. He was detained over the status of his current stay in the United States, his lawyer said, adding that he expects the matter to be resolved expeditiously. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement database lists Ofori-Atta as being held in a facility in the state of Virginia. The 66-year-old served as finance minister from 2017 to 2024 under former President Nana Akufo-Addo. He oversaw contentious tax reforms and negotiations with the International Monetary Fund.
Yeah, Dinus.
Go ahead.
That's the dirty tricks of John Mahama coming back to haunt him. Okay, all he's doing is trying to disgrace every single one of the members of the former party so that when the next election comes around, he can play a clip like that and say, you see, they're corrupt. But they'll never be charged with anything because they ain't stolen nothing. You think Nanado?
This is an international news.
No, hang on. Hold on, sister. I'm telling you how it works. Dirty mudslinging. John Mahama is one of the richest, probably the richest man in Ghana. Okay, as I speak to you, his brother, after 3 months coming to power, acquired a whole gold mine. Let him talk about that. That's what they use the money for. To mudsling so that this happens. I'll tell you exactly what happened there, how this came about. When Trump came in, he started this ICE deportation thing. And he wanted African countries to take people that they're going to deport, even if they're not from Africa. You know why John Mahama put his hand up and said, quickly, I'll take him? And everybody was wondering why? This is such reason, because he knew that this man, John Ken Ofori-Atta, had prostate cancer, serious case of prostate cancer. It was diagnosed in Ghana. He went to America for the treatment. Okay? And as part of the treatment, he's got to rest. After that heavy election loss, he didn't want to come back to Ghana straight away. Okay? He's got a diplomatic passport. We can go to US, America, anywhere. So he went there to rest. John Mahama knew this. So what happened was, soon as he agreed with ICE to take on people who not even from Ghana to come to Ghana, okay, he then made a request that John Mahama, that Ken Ofori-Atta has stolen money, this and that, and we want him back. Knowing full well the man is there on medical treatment. America knows this is there on medical treatment because of the dirty...
Why is he there on medical treatment? Why can't he stay down?
I'm just telling you the dirty tricks that have been played. He will never be charged with anything because he ain't guilty of nothing. And if he is guilty, let him tell us how much he's stolen. I rest my case. This is the problem of Ghana politics. And John Mahama is one of the worst ones. He pays people.
But see, these are the narratives that happen that we see in America that is causing these issues.
Listen to me very carefully. Nana Addo will not put his neck on the line. Okay? With a prominent family he comes from, trained barrister from a UK and France, an ambassador for many years. That's his cousin. You think he's going to drag their family down the line? He ain't a poor man. Okay, this man, he was on the top of the tree in America.
$92 million.
He's not a thief. What you're seeing is the dirty tricks of John Mahama. And the idea is to every member of the opposition party has either been arrested in Ghana without any charges or been embarrassed abroad because of the work of John Mahama. Okay, what you're seeing is the dirty tricks of John Mahama. That's what I'm going to tell you about that. Just because he's there, he's been arrested, don't mean that he's guilty. He hasn't been guilty of nothing, and I will dare you to ask him what he has stolen and where the money is. It's just dirty tricks. So when the election comes around, they're going to play that, and people will listen to it. Yeah, he's corrupt.
The point. When we see this news over here, how do you expect people of us, of this diaspora, supposed to feel about the continent? That's the issue I'm talking about.
All right. Well, I'm just telling you how the dirty tricks stops us from...
American doesn't understand what you're talking about.
I'm just telling you how the dirty tricks of politics in Ghana, when he goes too far, damages Africa. Because now you got a bad impression of this man, and this man was good. He's the man who budgeted for the year of return. This is the man whose family was mainly responsible.
We don't understand. Nobody understands this.
He ain't guilty of nothing.
I mean, not I'm saying nobody understands this. the average, Jesse Jackson just passed away. He's the father of the term African American, even though he coined it, even though it was developed in the 1800s or so. But he's the one who coined it back in the 1970s, if I believe. I guess I'm getting the history correct. So when Black people here in America, when we see this or see these challenges that are faced in Africa, how are we supposed to feel?
Listen to me, sister. If you really want to go to Africa, you go there. That ain't gonna stop you. Okay, the most
So you're missing the point of what I'm trying to talk to you about.
No, the point you're making is very simple, and I hear you. What I'm telling you is that the dirty tricks of Ghanaian politics, especially the one played out by John Mahama, this is the result of it. His whole aim and his whole campaign is to blacklist every person that was in a top position who can go for next presidency, and that man can. Okay, the idea is to blacklist them, so when they come for the next election, everything looks bad, and they're gonna turn around and say, "You can't vote for this man. Look what happened about 3 or 4 years ago," and people ain't gonna got time to remember. That's how the dirty politics is played in Africa. So I'm telling you, don't worry about that. Until he's
Sister Michelle,
until he's
Michelle,
right? Until
yes,
he's
brother.
charged,
How are you?
right? Until he's charged and the case come to court, don't believe a thing because he ain't stolen nothing.
Can I add something to
Sister
this
Michelle.
conversation?
Sister Michelle, this is very much similar to the governor, the California governor who, the Black governor who stopped the reparation from happening. What's his name?
The white governor.
He's white. Mr. Newsom is white.
But the black one was in Virginia.
I know that there is a black.
Westmore. He vetoed the vote because I live here in Maryland. He vetoed the vote.
He wasn't black?
No, Westmore. He's in California. I mean, Maryland.
And he stopped it.
Maryland. Yeah, he vetoed the vote because we had a petition against what he did. Westmore, because I do think, and these are another issues. Westmore. So that's when a lot of people got into him because they started to really, how should I say, explore his background because of his veto. And that's when a lot of people, because I live in Prince George's County, so a lot of people who put him in were.
Was he black or not? Was he black?
Jamaican.
Yes, Westmore is. Yes, Westmore is.
West is Jamaican, right?
Hey guys, let me pass the mic to Yamoja. Go ahead, Yamoja.
Hi, Dinah's panel and chat. I just want to call in quickly. I'm old enough where Jesse Jackson was doing visits to high schools and, trying to get, just focus and centered around the African American moniker. He came to my high school. I believe I was in the 9th grade then in Savannah, Georgia. I accept the moniker. I mean, I don't have any opposition toward it. I'm not old enough to have been called Negro, but my parents were. But I want to bring about a topic or just a subtopic around the fact that today Ghana released information on a proposed legislation that would allow folks with dual citizenship and or those who have pledged allegiance to another country to actually be able to hold office. And so I wonder, with that being put forth, would that now make many who say they are against African American moniker to now accept it and try to go over to Ghana and run for office? I think it's a bold move. I can't find the line by line information on the legislation because I'd like to know what else, what other qualifiers are there. But I thought that to be very interesting. And I know when I called in last week and was giving information on, why people may have gone to Burkina Faso, and I said that, folks may want to gain citizenship because they may want to hold office and that kind of thing, that there was a lot of pushback from a few of the panel members in terms of, us not being qualified or should just steer clear of it. But with this legislation with Ghana, that might be a possibility. So now will it be popular to be African American? Or
my understanding of that bill, I've heard of it, is like mainly for the Ghanaian diaspora, because you have a lot of people in the Ghanaian diaspora who have dual citizenship, and so they can't hold certain offices. So I thought that was more for that particular group. But Again, I probably will need to need more, but somebody called me a dumb person because I said a bill because I misspoke. So the person who chat called me a dumb person. I misspoke. I'm not dumb. I just misspoke in the excitement. But the issue with that bill with Westmore and reparation, I think you should have taken it more seriously. But that's all I wanted to respond to. Thank
Well,
you.
it's not even just Westmore. I'm in California, and so there was someone within the legislative realm within California who opposed it. I can't remember his name right now, but there was someone within the state that opposed it. So
All I know is that there were black people involved.
I hadn't heard of that person.
That's all that matters.
But there was certainly someone in state.
Can I respond as far as the African American moniker comment? So I don't think we ever had a problem with being African Americans. When I was in elementary school, they used to teach us Swahili. We used to recite the African national anthem in Swahili every morning in elementary school. This was something that we didn't really see. It was like normal until we started to see a lot of negative vitriolic comments from Africans, and we started seeing a common recurrence of them telling us we not African, they not black, and you not African. Like they telling us this. So now we looking like, okay, maybe we're not African. And you got people, because all of our grandmothers at one point told us we was Native Americans. We just brushed it off. But now that the Africans themselves is telling us this, or were telling us this, now we looked into that. Maybe we not African. Maybe we don't want to be friends. And then what I wanted to say earlier, and the lady also I want to comment on, you said about the dual citizenship. I think 2026 is 80 years too late. Britain gave Ghana freedom in 1960. The first thing Ghana should have did when they got their freedom was to come to the Black Americans, offer us dual citizenship, positions in government, because we got military leaders, political leaders, we have chief economists. We could, like for whatever reason, history's gonna judge them as like that wasn't too intelligent. Like why would you allow this?
What were we doing in the 60s, though? You have to remember.
In the 60s, we had the civil rights movement. We had the black politicians. We had the greatest intellectuals of all time. What are you talking about? But I'm saying they didn't come when they got their independence. They didn't run and say like the rush for Africa.
No, you don't know your history, bro. You don't know your history.
They didn't rush. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example.
If you knew your
look, let me give you an example, right? After the Bolshevik Revolution.
James Small before you make silly statements like that.
Oh, well, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of people competing for Black Americans, right?
Yeah, Louis, calm down, no one.
Let me give you one example. Okay. After the Bolshevik Revolution, Russia had communism.
Question, though.
Vladimir Lenin particularly wanted to recruit Black Americans. They had the Harlem Renaissance in the USSR, cultural exchange, jazz, music, intellectual capacity. The American government put an end to it. They made but I'm saying they recruited particularly Black Americans.
They stopped all that because of the kickback against communism. They were blaming
the United States government did that in the 1940s and 30s. But the Russians made an effort to recruit Black Americans. A lot of European nations did because they saw the jazz music, they saw the cultural prowess. Whatever they saw, they competed for our attention. But we never saw this from an African country.
Hola, wait. Hola. Let me just.
I don't think our reputation. Can I just say one quick thing? Just one quick thing.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
M specifically, because he mentioned 1960 something, and this is what I was saying specifically. I understand your commentary about like wanting to compete for the African American, etc. But what I want to let you know is that up until like the late 1960s, early 1970s, we weren't a competitive people. We were fighting for our competitive edge during that time when they were getting their freedom. So simultaneously, two things were happening, right? Yeah. They were getting their freedom across the Caribbean, across Africa, and we was up here fighting with these white people. So there was no time for that. What you're saying, that's not how history.
We had over 100 HBCU colleges at the same time. Kwame Nkrumah went to our HBCU.
Yeah, listen. 1 second, guys. I understand what M is saying, okay? Because being from someone from Sierra Leone, you probably been there. Dan has been there. Sierra Leone was founded by African Americans and the Caribbeans, Maroons, and so on. And these people actually, because there was actually good small quality, they managed to achieve a lot. including Liberia, before obviously it got destabilized by the war.
Like, what year was that around? I'm not too familiar with the history.
Brother,
Well, Sierra Leone was founded around the late about 18th centuries. Okay, they were returned slaves from the Caribbean and Canada, the US, and so on. It was a mixed bag. But the reality is, those minority slaves managed to achieve a lot in terms of building institutions and engineering and so on. But as time goes on, it's corruption that is killing our community. That's it. We're not catching up with times. We're just sitting out there talking every day, and just there's no solution. Engineers, like what my guy is saying, the African continents, they're not Pan-African enough because they're controlled. If they were controlled, they would be actually looking into working with my brother, the African American M. That's what he's saying. Because they need engineers. Yeah.
So Dynast, can I say something? Dynast, can I say something to Brother M?
Hold on. What if they're working together? Look, if that young man,
listen. Yeah.
Russia's in Nigeria. Russia's in Nigeria. Female Russia's Nigeria. If you're young enough, you got the money, bro. Come and open.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
Look,
that's what I'm trying to say. You need to get the expertise. People with knowledge.
Broke ass format talk. This is a format talk. This is format talk. This is definitely format talk.
No, leave them alone.
Hold on. Yeah. Africanism is not about broke ass talking about. It's capitalist. If you know you're young,
I know.
The money, right?
I know.
If you know you got the money, come on, Eric. Come on, open the gentleman's club in Nigeria. You be having the Russians there. You be having the Russians there. You be having the Czechs there. You be having the Ukrainians there, you be having South Africans there in your gentleman club. We
need expertise. We need expertise. Quality.
I read something.
Quality. Okay. That's exactly. That's precisely what I'm trying to say. Listen. I agree with you. Wait.
Ola.
Wait. That's precisely what I was saying. That's precise. Yeah, that's precisely what I was saying. So we need to work together. We need to actually start linking up. You need to do your own networking, bro.
Like do it yourself.
Exactly. You need to make your own networking. Yeah, I agree.
Please don't forget the Jesse Jackson song, please, for us.
No, man. Lewis.
Where you going, Lewis? Where you going?
Oh, no, I'm going to do something.
Lewis, come and see the Russians. Shaking it down.
All right, bro. Take care. Take care.
What do you want?
Yo, Dynast, bro. Dynast, can I say something to Brother M?
Go ahead.
Okay, so Dynast, by the way, I've been waiting for you to make the live about the Nigerian fatigue, and I don't know what has been happening with that. Like, you've been pushing it all the time, and like I keep looking for the opportunity to bring this up because we need to put this to bed once and for all. Okay, I heard Brother M complain about Africans telling him that they're not Black and that he wasn't African and this, that, and third. Okay, listen, Brother M, you need to learn this once and for all. Okay, it is a brand of Nigerians, okay, who have suspicions about their Blackness before making it to America. And Nigeria is not Africa. All the rest of Africa, especially the French-speaking African countries, all of them know about their Blackness. You get what I'm saying? None of them are suspicious. None of them are suspicious about their Blackness. They all know that they're Black. They all know that they're Black.
Don't bust that is shit. Don't tell Nigeria say you're not
No, but I just said the brand. I said the brand of Nigeria. I said the brand of Nigeria.
Forget that nonsense.
I didn't say all Nigerians. I didn't say all Nigerians. I didn't say all Nigerians.
Are you a capitalist?
I didn't say all Nigerians. I didn't say you, Ola. I didn't say you.
It's a formal talk. You know, I've been listening
this is the issue why we have problems in the ass. You know, I agree with all that. I'll let you get personal. No. I don't like Mr.
Okay, bro. Yo, Brother M.
It wasn't meant to be offensive.
Brother M.
Ola made it offensive.
Be nice to him, man. Be nice to him.
Yo, Ola, I never said you. I said a brand of Nigeria. I never said you. I said a brand of Nigeria. I never said Ola. Ola is different. Ola knows that he's black.
Young man.
Ola is not doubting about.
Ola, why are you taking it to another level? Because this is why we ask for that issue, and then want to ask why there's FBA.
Bro, if you got money, you can pick your ride and ship it to Nigeria. You got money, I can give you a shop or a.
So why aren't you in Nigeria, sir? Why aren't you in Nigeria?
Hold on. A very big hall,
could you be
right?
honest and tell them not without stress?
Open some kind of a powerful gentleman club in my territory. You know, you be making your money, man. You be
you have one like that. See, I'm from
Yo, Ola, I wasn't done. I wasn't done, Ola. I wasn't done.
Hold on.
Yes.
Ola, I wasn't done.
Hold on. There are no Russians in Nigeria, right? Be you black America, you don't need to start wearing dashiki. Put on your t-shirt on, your baseball cap, and your bowler hat.
But I wasn't done, Ola.
Put those Russians. Let it shake it down for you. You have a club.
Yeah.
You be making a lot of money. I mean,
Ola, I wasn't done.
Man. What you gonna talk, man?
I wasn't done talking to Brother M, but we know that you know about your blackness, Ola. We're not talking about you. I said a brand of Nigeria, not all of them. All right. So Brother M, you need to learn this right now.
I think the way you phrase it may be a little antagonizing for someone else. So sometimes you got to think about I understand where you're trying to land with it, but you got to be
okay. But what I'm trying to say here is that Ola never said that he was doubtful about his blackness. But there's a brand of Nigerian who make it to the US and who are doubtful about their blackness before making it to the US. It's only when they meet black Americans that then all of a sudden they know that they're black, right? So, Brother M, you need to learn that this is a brand of Nigerians who do that. If you go to the AES right now, and if you tell them that they're not black, they're gonna slap you, right? Just to let you know.
And they be walking around Legos. They be walking around Legos with the 350-pound big Shirley. You understand? And she no melanin, 350 pounds. Okay, so they can get their mansion built. All right, I see it every day, and there's nothing wrong with it. Let him do what he do. It's a hustle to get out of Nigeria. It's hard. Let him get out.
Bring boy that come by church body. Forget about this poor man.
At some point, all of the what do you call it, Commonwealth nations who still under British control, at some point you're gonna have to get full independence. Because I know for a fact, if black Americans went to Britain and say we want Nigeria, they will give it to us. Because Britain controls Nigeria. It's like they gave us Liberia. We can't go to an African because Africans don't control Africa.
You got to take it in blood,
the British control Africa. If the Africans control Africa, look, if the Africans control Africa, they would have gave black Americans territory.
They not giving nothing. That's what you have to understand.
We already. Listen.
No. Salih Halassi allocated land for black Americans.
And we gave land to Sierra Leone and Liberia. The
British gave that.
Yeah, but it was still given to you.
Queen Charlotte gave that.
Yeah, Charlotte.
Queen Charlotte did that. The one they called.
I think so.
Africans gave us nothing. We made the British, the black Americans made the British in apartheid in South Africa.
Hold on. You want to come back?
We did that.
No.
We made the British release Nelson Mandela.
Hold on. You want to get Nigeria for the British? Come to Nigeria.
The British control Africa. We haven't been using optimal strategy. We've been going to Africa. We could have just went to the British.
You get Nigeria for
M is right.
Up to a room.
Let me hear what the conversation sounds like, M. Can you make a demonstration? Demonstrate to us, M, how you gonna go and ask the British to give you Nigeria. I want to hear it. Can I just hear the conversation?
Saying if, perhaps, hypothetically, if we ask the British for Nigeria, they will give us Nigeria.
Damn well.
You think they won't give us Nigeria if you wanted it?
King,
what's his name? King
That place
Charles
is rich.
owns
It's
Jamaica.
unfortunate that they don't control the riches.
King Charles owns Jamaica. If we ask King Charles, we want Jamaica. You think he won't give us Jamaica? King Charles III. The British controls Jamaica.
Mr. Chin owns Jamaica. Mr. Chin.
The British owns Jamaica. It's a British colony.
They are man what we call Mr. Chin. There's Mr. Chin and Mr. Lee, and they both own Jamaica.
Brother M, may I ask you a question, please?
Go ahead. What up?
My question is because I live in the DC area, and I'm not sure if you were here when I asked this question to Brother T when he was here. My concern with FBA, as we have identified it, what are we good? Because I live in the DC area, and I'm seeing our homes being taken away one by one, one by one, one by one. Soon as a figure in the family system dies, I can tell you within 3 months that house is gone. And then people are scattered all over the place. $1,200, $1,800 a month for rent. I mean, just our family. We're just so scattered now. Where are we going? I'm so glad.
We're going to have to get back into the. We're going to have to get back into the nuclear family. It's too many single black women who depend on government jobs, and Trump fired a lot of them, so they losing their houses. They thought they could do it without a man. They're going to have to get back into getting married and supporting a man. That's the solution right there. Because a lot of these households are single women.
But a lot of them, and I hate to say this because I'm working with another situation now. Some of them are same gender loving now. Okay, a whole nother issue with
homosexuals. What is that going to do?
Well, actually, one of the biggest Instagram girls from Niger, she's a homosexual now, and it's a big talk all over the place. I forget her name, but I know the Nigerian.
No.
You know what I'm talking about.
But right now, the black community in America, we're going through a cleansing. We're getting killed off, but I think a remnant of us is going to survive.
Some of us are not even being born because of this same gender loving.
Abortions.
We're going through a cleansing. We're trying to clean up as Black Americans. What I've noticed in Nigeria is that they're going through a period of westernization. That's what I was trying to imply by
they're not westernized. If they was westernized, their infrastructure would be on point. They're in their minds.
They want to be in there.
What I mean is, you can find a lot of
that's true. In their minds.
They got to build some streets and some plumbing and some fiber optic cables under the ground to get some cell phone towers.
Yeah, because
you got to get some bulldozers.
In Nigeria,
I agree. African let us down. So.
Another situation, because I work in community mental health, I'm finding a lot of the forefathers that built DC, like they're dying off. Like I'm meeting, the grandfathers, the great grandfathers who literally built DC. They were the carpenters, the plumbers, because they worked under a construction company. They never get the full credit of their work. See, that's a whole nother hidden history that other people don't see.
But y'all black women don't respect us. Y'all don't honor us.
Why are you saying I don't respect?
Y'all been dogging us off on the internet for the last 20 years.
Don't go down that route. Don't go down that route.
Can I ask you a question?
What's
up? Do you think we should go back to polygamy again as black people?
That's inevitable. But I will say this: we need the best women. So I think we should get more African women as wives, because I think the Western women is so destroyed. Their minds are so messed up. They don't even believe in a nuclear family. They don't even believe in having children anymore. And that's bringing out. We're going to be extinct in 20 years at this rate. So we need to re-strategize.
I do agree.
We need to re-strategize for real.
I do agree.
Y'all gonna let us go extinct. And then all this opportunity that y'all could have took advantage of 60 years ago is going to be for naught, because we ain't going to exist anymore.
Right.
So then my question is, Brother M, where with the lineage now becoming a talking point, where should it go at this point?
We need to regroup. We need to re-strategize. We need to find women of other countries who's not really like messed up in the mind. We need to click up with the Africans. Get some land. We need to get land away from white people, because white people are actively trying to wipe us off this planet with the disease, abortion, the chemical warfare. We need to get away from white people.
I think there's a special flavor to Black American women. They're good ones too, especially especially in the South, right?
They gone. They minds are so messed up. But I would say this though: the man carry the seed, so the black man gotta be protected. The ones who ain't messed up in the mind have to be preserved. Because if y'all allow us to go extinct, then what?
But
Who gonna do jazz music? Who gonna do rock? Who gonna do all this creativity?
Happening now.
If y'all let us go extinct.
I see, for example, I was working with a young man whose mother is in a same gender living relationship, and he's having a lot of behavior issues. He's going through the stages of life, you know, in that age.
They destroying us. We're being wiped out. It's just like we getting destroyed so much in America, and then we hear the Africans attacking. Like little Turk, he said, "You too." Everybody against who the hell is our friend? Like the whole world against us? We ain't did nothing but try to help everybody. We didn't have provided the world with so much.
We don't need friends. That's the problem. We always looking for a friend. That's the problem.
Women ain't our friend. Y'all talking now, but 10 years ago, y'all talking about divestment against us.
No, I'm not talking about women and female thing. I'm not talking about that. I just pulled that one line you said because that to me is the biggest problem with blacks all over the world. We looking for a friend. We're not mean enough.
We need friends.
A little bit more vicious. We need to be a little bit more
we need people to align with our interests. Our interests is
right. I agree with you. But yeah, I agree.
Right? We don't got friends, and we got to stop looking for them.
We need allies because Africa has millions of acres of land. Like, why would you not want to take advantage of that? That's crazy.
Allies. I would say that China is a good ally to Africa. I'm not gonna lie.
Not China. Forget. I'm talking about Africa.
I don't know all that what they're doing up there. I don't know. But
the thing about if you were allies, you would have to come. Like
Africa has beautiful women. They have natural resources. They have we have it here too, but we under white supremacy over here. Y'all under white supremacy, but in a different way because y'all not like occupied. We're occupied. They're like right there killing us off and poisoning our water supply. Y'all got a better chance of getting rid of it if y'all just change our mindset and have courage and just take the land from Unilever, like the dude in Burkina Faso. Y'all should follow what he's doing. Just take it like Mugabe.
What about all of the Lebanese?
You say the Anglophone West Africa, the Anglophone West Africa went through. Sorry, the Anglophone West Africa went through their stages of school back in the days before the Francophone. So the reality is the British they left, but they kind of still stayed. You know, basically they left all their companies behind and they took all the military back. So the French, they just imposed themselves, you know, on the blacks, on the West Africans. So that's the difference. But yeah, you're right. The black, English, British, West Africans, we need to start looking at the multinational corporations, you know, taking off stuff in our London. And the reality is our leaders are not equipped with the laws to do that. And right now, you know, all the West African government, what they could do right now to counter all this, you know, insurgent of, you know, militarized world and corporations coming behind, is to strengthen their institutions that make laws that any corporation that come bully them gonna face the law eventually. So that will help them out. That's the only way. Basically, that's to retreat and actually take back. That's my point.
Biggest thing they can do for a lot of these African countries, take their traveling visas. Nobody, if you're an African head of state, your children, anybody in your cabinet should not be able to travel. Period. Cut that nonsense out. If they cut that, I bet you Africa would develop.
Yeah, I agree with you, hon, because I don't think that Tinubu's supposed to be up in France all year. I mean, come on now. You know, like
he's disappointed. He disappoint people, innit? Well, he shouldn't be there anyway. At the end of the day, even Ola knows that Ola doesn't like him. If you speak to him, he'll tell you. He got his own opinion about him. But I just thought the guy is too old to be there anyway. That's the trouble with African leaders. There. Oh, look at the one in Cameroon. Look at the one in Cameroon. Do you know how old that guy is?
92 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
92 years old. He was there. He's been there since I was born. And guess what? He's probably going to be the one delivering my eulogy.
Wow. God bless him.
Yeah, but he destroyed the nation because he messed it up.
And his daughter's a
Jagoon, bring Jagoon up.
Yes. She blinded herself.
I need to hear his voice. Bring him up.
Yeah, so the reality is, you know, West African countries are just, different situations. Some are developing, some are having security problems. But people from the diaspora should not forget that their ancestral home is Africa. And people, back in the days have tried that. They successfully built Sierra Leone, Liberia, and export their knowledge to other African countries. So there is a way we could do it. But it's, the good ones have to come in first and build institutions and have connection and networks. And we don't know how to network in this day. There's not one probably big, network that's probably set up for Black people to connect in terms of job opportunities and stuff like that. That's probably even controlled by other people. If you go to Africa, on the plane, you're going to see more white people on the plane than Black people sometimes. When you're coming back, you see more Black people coming out. And most of these people that are coming out are the people that can afford it. The average African can't even afford it. If you look at Nigeria, if you look at Nigeria, where people say, Nigerians, it's only 2% of Nigerians are hurt that actually are the country.
Hey,
260 million.
I gotta read these super chats. We gotta close out. Let's see here.
Okay.
Couple Production TV. Thank you for 99 holla. Did y'all know that Jesse Jackson had a dual citizenship plan for Blacks to go to Liberia in 1972? Liberia strict dual citizenship bill delayed this. John, thank you for becoming a member. Tahaka, thank you for $4 holla. Please don't say anything negative about African American women. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Till next time, family. Down is Mirror Search for Huru. Peace.